Good afternoon and welcome to the Titans softball campus on the Melbourne campus of Eastern Florida State College, where today we got a Citrus Conference doubleheader and a true clash of the Titans between the number 11 Eastern Florida State Titans and the St. Petersburg Titans. Eastern Florida comes in at 35-13 overall, right in the hunt for a top 3 spot in the conference, while St. Petersburg will look to continue to build some momentum after having a big win in their last game. I'm June Yoon, and alongside my partner and good friend Porter Kelly, and you're watching FCS AA Softball. We're getting ready for the first pitch here. Take a look at the fielding alignment for the Eastern Florida State Titans. Inside of the circle, and your starting pitcher, Zoe Mills. At catcher is Emma George. First base, Madison Velasquez. And we have Annalyn Duncan playing second. Over at third is Jalen Whipple. Jessica Merck playing shortstop in place of the injured Ortero. And then the outfield from left to right, Carissa Howell, Aracelas Jimenez, and Brooklyn Scott. And that first pitch is a called strike one.
The lineup for St. Pete is built with, starting off, is Jensen Nelson, number 14, as we see in the right-hander's batter's box. Batting second, Johalis Colon Rivera. Batting third, number 16, Teresa Diaz. Hitting cleanup, number 25, Alexandra Schlesing. Batting fifth, number 20, is Collins. Batting sixth, number 19, is Sydney Ralston. Batting seventh, number 4, Montana Ash. Batting eighth, number 10, Alexis Williamson. And batting ninth, number 17, Brooke Bonaluich.
The next pitch was low, so evens the count at 2 apiece. The St. Petersburg leadoff hitter, Jensen Nelson, their designated player for this first game of this doubleheader. Next one is fouled back. So she stays alive in this opening at-bat of this doubleheader between the Citrus Conference opponents.
Eastern Florida State currently sits 4th in the Citrus Conference, while St. Petersburg is all the way down at 9th.
That one hit high into left field, and Carissa Howell is there comfortably to record the first out, and that is how we get game one started. It'll bring up Amberlyn Rivera up next to the bat for St. Pete. Pitch comes in, is low and into the dirt for ball one.
St. Pete can't be looking forward to this first game of the doubleheader, having to face Zoe Mills once again. In their doubleheader earlier in the year, they faced Zoe Mills, where she threw 6 scoreless innings while allowing just 2 hits in a game that Eastern Florida State won 13-0.
The Titans have dominated St. Pete as of late, winning the past 6 games in this conference series. And it's been a very tough Citrus Conference to play in this year as well, with several of the top teams ranked nationally, including the Eastern Florida Titans. Count now at 1-2 on Rivera. That pitch just outside to even the count.
In that doubleheader that these two teams played, Eastern Florida State outscored them 25-4.
That one grounded straight to third to record the second out. It was nicely and easily done by Jalen Whipple to throw out Rivera.
2 quick outs for Mills to get started here. We'll bring up the third hitter, Teresa Diaz, who has 3 multi-hit games in her last 5. She comes in swinging a hot bat.
A 377 average on the year.
Yes, but Zoe Mills is really good at keeping runners off base. 14 games. This is her 5th start with a 2.2 ERA, just giving up 18 earned runs in 57 and a third innings.
Next pitch was a swing and a miss by Diaz. 1-1 the count. And a called strike 2. And coming into today, here in the Citrus Conference, Florida Southwestern, the only team to clinch an FCSAA tournament berth, with several teams still chasing and trying to clinch, one of those being the Eastern Florida State Titans.
And every game still matters for them. They're still battling for a top 3 spot in that tournament, which begins on May 12th, less than a month.
Pitch outside. And again, I mean, despite the national ranking with the way the junior college postseason works here in the FCSAA, the Titans still haven't, the Eastern Florida State Titans haven't clinched a tournament berth yet. That one hit into center field and is going to drop. Jimenez couldn't get to it in time. That's a base hit for Teresa Diaz.
Perfectly placed hit there. No chance for the shortstop to get there, and no chance for the center fielder, Aracelis Jimenez, to make a play. She gave her full-out effort diving for it. Did a good job of getting her glove on it. If that gets past, that's extra bases.
I'll bring the first baseman, Lexi Schlesing, to the plate. And the St. Petersburg team, where season not really going exactly the way they planned, but they did have a dominant win in their last outing against College of Central Florida, winning that one 10-2.
That was their best game of the season. And score-wise, like you said, 10-2. They are now 3-3 in their last 6.
Rounded up the middle by Schlesing. So now, after recording the first 2 outs and retiring the first 2 batters, the Titans now see themselves with 2 runners on base, the St. Petersburg Titans. That's going to be something that's going to, I think I'm going to struggle with throughout both teams being the Titans.
I like what you did in the open, saying a clash of the Titans. Quite literally is a clash of the Titans.
A swing and a miss for a strike 1 on Amberlyn Collins, the center fielder for St. Pete. Next pitch comes in fouled back. 0-2 the count.
Zoe Mills from Port Charlotte, Florida, and her last outing was just a few days ago on April 21st, where she threw 4 innings, allowing just 1 run, but in a game, they fell in the first game of their doubleheader against Daytona State. They lost 5-4 in the first game, but bounced back and won 7-2 in the second.
That one hit towards center field, and getting there is Jimenez to record the final out. So St. Petersburg leaves 2 stranded here at the top of the first. We'll go to the bottom of the first and see the Eastern Florida State Titans batting for the first time today. Welcome back to the Titans softball complex. Bottom of the first. To the Eastern Florida Titans, our home team. Bat for the first time today. Aracelis Jimenez, the leadoff hitter, the center fielder, recorded that final out in the top of the first. And one of many players in this Eastern Florida lineup with some great numbers.
Hitting .447, which is fourth in all of Florida in average. Has 64 runs scored, which is 15th in the nation. Coming in, swinging a hot bat with a 6-game hit streak. Does not have a home run on the year, but with that average, it's no wonder why they have her in the leadoff spot.
And every time come out here to Melbourne to see Jimenez play, she is one fast player on the bases. Every time she gets on, provides a true threat for their opponents. Shows bunt and pulls back.
So you're looking to utilize that speed by laying down a bunt, but St. Pete, their infield, their second baseman and third baseman in pretty much past the pitcher, expecting that bunt from Jimenez.
The hitters count. Pitches in there for a strike to bring the count to full on Jimenez.
With 2 strikes, the infield is still in.
They're ready for it. I mean, they've done their homework, St. Pete, and that pitch was way inside for ball 4. So a leadoff walk for Aracelis Jimenez. And it will bring Annalyn Duncan, second baseman, up to bat. And we're going to sound like a broken record throughout the broadcast this doubleheader, but another player just ridiculous numbers when you really take a look at it on face value.
Yeah, she's third in the nation and leads.
And Jimenez takes off. Sorry to cut you off there, Porter, but off the first pitch in the next batter. We spoke about Jimenez's threat on the bases and immediately takes off. That's going to be the 32nd stolen base she has this year.
Yes, that's someone you don't want to put on, especially to start off the inning, because just one pitch. She's already in scoring position for the person who leads the FCSAA in RBIs with 76.
Next pitch was hit into foul territory, and chasing that one was Diaz. 1-1 the count on Annalyn Duncan. Next pitch is low.
Williamson really needs to get off to a good start in this one, as in her last start on April 21st, she only went 2 2/3 innings, giving up 6 runs. And on the year, she has a 7.13 ERA through 71 2/3 pitches. Not the best start walking the speedy Jimenez, as she's already in scoring position and has a really good hitter.
Duncan with a big hack at it. Fouls out one towards left field. And pitching seems to really been the struggle for St. Pete this year.
They have a 6.96 team ERA.
That one hit into right field. Is it going to stay fair? It does. No, it does not. I don't think so, actually. I thought it looked fair from my angle here. I think it was just fouled. It's very similar to the first pitch that she fouled off of going towards right field, but that one was way closer. I thought it stayed fair. And I think Jimenez thought, too, she was about around third.
Would have been extra bases and an RBI if it did.
And a swing and a miss. And after the close hit into foul territory, Duncan strikes out.
Good bounce back at bat there from Williamson. After giving up the walk, she narrowly escapes extra bases from Duncan, but gets her to swing and miss at the outside pitch, the outside off-speed pitch, to get the first out of the inning.
It's going to bring Avery Velasquez to the plate, one of the stars of this Eastern Florida team. Her sister also in the lineup, both having commits to Syracuse after this year. Pitch inside. Is it called strike 2?
The Twins are making a jump up to the D1 level after this season. They've proven that they are too good for this level, so it's no surprise.
She lines that one into left field, waving home Jimenez, and an RBI single for Avery Velasquez puts the Eastern Florida State Titans on the board first. Now Jalen Whipple, the cleanup hitter, and third baseman in the batter's box.
It's a 64th RBI of the season for Avery Velasquez, second on the team, trailing only the hitter that hit before her, Annalyn Duncan.
Jalen Whipple is known for hitting for extra bases. 10 triples on the year, leads the entire nation. Called a strike 1.
She also has the St. Pete's pitching staff's number in both games of their doubleheader back in March. She hit a home run.
Two and one, the count. Pitch comes from Williamson. Is low and away. It's a 3-1 count. Favorable for Whipple. Next pitch was right in there for strike 2.
Williamson doesn't really have to worry about Velasquez trying to take an extra base here. No stolen bases on the year. She can focus on trying to get Whipple out, who has 3 home runs in her last 6 games.
Hits that one. It's over the center fielder's head. That was hit hard. And they're going to wave Velasquez home. And she is in there safe. So 2-0. And Whipple add another triple to her this season. An extra base machine all year long. It just proves time and time again why she leads the nation in triples.
She just keeps adding to her lead there as Amberlyn Collins out in center field for St. Pete took a step in thinking she would have to come in on that ball, but it was hit well enough by Whipple and stayed in the air where she had to try and recover and go backwards, and the ball just went over her glove. Unfortunate play there, and it gets the second run on the board already for Eastern Florida.
And now Avery's sister, Madison, enters the batter's box for the first time today. And hits that one hard towards left field, but fouled. And Williamson, after striking out Duncan, is now struggling seeing this middle of the lineup. The 1-2 is low and away.
Well, most pitchers facing the middle of this Titan lineup do struggle. It's been a crazy good offensive season. The Titans, Eastern Florida State Titans, average 8.5 runs per game.
And that is a pass the ball. It's going to score another run. Whipple came in after the pitch got away from Tenney, the catcher. And a full count on Madison Velasquez. And nothing seems to be going right for St. Pete. And a full count walk on Madison Velasquez. So it will bring Carissa Howell, the left fielder, up to the plate. And a quick circle meetup for St. Pete after giving up 3 runs early here in the bottom of the first.
Yes, Aaliyah Tenney going and talking to her pitcher like you said, after that strikeout of Duncan, it's been a single, a triple, and a walk. 3 quick runs for the Titans. Still just 1 out in the inning with a runner on first base.
When you look at the Eastern Florida lineup, it's always just difficult and what to do. I mean, nearly every single player is batting around the 300 mark or way beyond.
Just one player in this starting lineup who isn't quite there, and even then, Emma George is at 297. A good game or a good doubleheader today could easily get her over that 300 line.
Which is very possible as well with the way the season's gone for Eastern Florida. Shown some utter dominance over some of their conference opponents. And now chasing a postseason berth. That pitch is skied, but fouled towards left field. Howell had a pretty good look at that one.
It's got a little too antsy. Got out in front of it and under it as well. Went out towards the Eastern Florida bullpen. Now the count is 2-2.
That one grounded up the middle for a base hit. And with just 1 out, the Eastern Florida Titans have 2 runners on to bring Jessica Merck up to the plate, who typically plays out in right field and is filling in at shortstop with the injury to Isabel Otero.
Otero, the normal shortstop for the Titans, got injured back on the 21st, sliding into home. Not sure when she'll be back, but Jessica Merck has been filling in nicely as a very good defensive shortstop, even though she doesn't play there that much.
And that pitch got away again from Tenney. The runners held up, luckily for St. Pete. Pitch inside for a second ball at this at-bat for Jessica Merck.
Merck ahead in the count, could get a good pitch to hit here. 2-0. The sophomore from Lakeland the sophomore from Groveland has 5 home runs on the year and went 5 for 5 last week.
And a 4-pitch walk. So that loads the bases for Eastern Florida with just 1 out. And now it seems like Alexis Williamson is going to be coming out here in the bottom of the first. So just like that, it didn't take long to have a pitching change in game 1 of this doubleheader. And it's going to bring in number 2, Alina Jones, into the circle. So we're going to step aside as we let Alina Jones warm up. It's 3-0 Eastern Florida over St. Petersburg. Still the bottom of the first with only 1 out for Eastern Florida. It's 3-0. Took an early lead, forcing the hand of head coach Bree Myers to pull the starting pitcher Alexis Williamson. And now we see the next pitcher come in, Alina Jones.
Williamson only able to get 1 out in this game. 1 strikeout, gave up 3 walks and 3 hits, and is still responsible for all 3 runners left on base.
That one fouled by Scott. So 0-2 count. It's an early advantage for Jones. And a swing and a miss. Struck her out. So quite a good start and probably exactly what you wanted if you're Bree Myers and St. Petersburg recording the second out of the inning.
Got Scott swinging in the dirt. She thought it was a drop third, but with the bases loaded, there's nowhere for her to go. Big second out here as there were runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs. Even a grounder or a fly ball could have brought home a run. Now with 2 outs, Emma George will need a hit.
Pitch is right in there for strike 2. So every pitch thrown by Alina Jones has been in the zone or swung on. And the
Until
next pitch is outside.
She's come in firing probably earlier than she thought she was going to have to come in. If she can get out of this inning, that'll be a huge boost to St. Pete.
Hit high into shallow right. Coming in is the right fielder Diaz to record the final out. So Eastern Florida leaves the bases loaded, but not before they score 3 to take an early lead over St. Petersburg. We'll be back for the top of the second. Top of the second, Eastern Florida took an early lead in the first inning, seeing every single batter in their lineup to take a 3-0 lead. And Sydney Ralston will lead things off for St. Petersburg.
Ralston's hitting .293 this season. She's playing shortstop in game 1 of this doubleheader. No home runs yet this year, but 25 RBIs and 18 runs scored. This team as a whole really isn't a home run hitting team. They just have 12 home runs through 48 games, which is just a home run every 4 games. That's not how they create their offense. That is an offense that scores almost 5 runs per game.
Swing and a miss for a strike 2, evens the count at 2 apiece. Next pitch high. Bring the count to full. And this was definitely a series and something that head coach Bree Myers, St. Petersburg, definitely expected it to be quite a difficult task to take down the 11th ranked team in the nation. As a swing and a miss results into strike three, Zoe Mills records her first strikeout of the day, sitting down Sydney Ralston.
Good job by Ralston, getting down 2 strikes, pushing the count full, but just a great pitch on the 3-2 pitch by Zoe Mills to get the first out of the inning on their leadoff hitter.
Now bring the third baseman, Montana Ash, into the batter's box, fouls the first pitch back from Zoe Mills.
Montana Ash comes in with a 4-game hit streak. Her last 11 at-bats, she has 8 hits. Swinging a hot bat, rising that average to 267 this year. Another player with no home runs, but has brought home 25 RBIs and scored 21 runs herself.
After the next pitch was also fouled back, it's 0-2, and that one also fouled. So Ash keeping herself alive in this at-bat, making contact off every pitch from Zoe Mills.
Good job there. Taking that one in the dirt. When you foul off all those pitches, you can just get in swing no matter what mode. She takes her first ball of her at bat.
That one hit high towards foul territory, but coming over was Annalyn Duncan to record the second out. And it'll bring Alina Jones into the batter's box. As Alexis Williamson exited the game early. We had an early pitching change. So Alina Jones coming in, batting 152 on the year. So definitely not the first time she's seen herself up to bat this season.
This will just be her 47th at-bat of the year. Is hitting 152, like you said. Isn't asked to hit all that much, but she's looking to upper average when she is asked to hit.
One and one count. Next pitch comes in from Mills and a swing and a miss for strike two.
Zoe Mills looking to make quick work in this second inning of the 6, 7, 8 hitters for St. Pete. She's already given up the same amount of hits in this game as she did in her first start against the St. Pete Titans.
Next pitch was outside for ball two. It evens the count. That one high with Jones ducking. Brings it to full. And the on-deck circa is Brooke Bonaliewicz. That one popped up in the infield. Velasquez is there to record the final out and the top of the second. So we will head to the bottom of the third, and very similar to what we saw in the bottom of the first, Aracelis Jimenez will lead things off for Eastern Florida. Still 3-0 here in the bottom of the second. Aracelis Jimenez will come to bat for the second time. Had a leadoff walk in the previous inning. We saw every single Eastern Florida player in the lineup at the plate already. So back to Aracelis. She takes the first pitch for strike one.
She showed exactly why she's at the top of this Eastern Florida State order. The sophomore from Orlando took the walk, like you said, then used her speed to steal her 32nd base of the year. Came around to score on the Avery Velazquez RBI single.
Next pitch is bunt, and the speed is too much for St. Pete to deal with. And I mean, we're going to see this throughout the entirety of the day. Every time Jimenez is up to bat is the infield coming in by quite some margin, ready for the bunt, and
it still didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
She placed
Never will.
She placed it
with
very
the
well.
Speed that she has. Yeah, once again recording a 32nd stolen base. The bottom of the first, she takes off again. Make that 33 stolen bases on the year.
It didn't even look like she was running full speed on that one either.
It really
she stole that one with ease.
She laid down the bunt, able to get on base off a leadoff bunt. And then again, with the next batter up, the first pitch comes in and immediately takes off.
Now Duncan's in the same situation she was in the first inning, where she struck out, but now is ahead in the count 2-1, and is, like we said earlier, leads the FCS AA in RBIs. Part of that is her coming through with runners in scoring position.
That one fouled, so 2-2 the count. Jones able to even things up. Struck out swinging in her first appearance. That one hit towards left field, gets over to the head of Bonaliewicz. They're going to wave home Jimenez, and it's 4-0 Eastern Florida.
Annalyn Duncan got a pitch to drive, got it over the left fielder's head, and switched places with her teammate Aracelis Jimenez. Now she will be on second for Avery Velazquez, who had an RBI single with Jimenez on second back in the first inning. She'll look to do the same here.
Avery Velazquez tied with 11 home runs on this Eastern Florida team with Annalyn Duncan. Expected to see Avery pitch in Game 2 of this doubleheader. 1-1 the count between her and Alina Jones. Next pitch is grounded towards third, hit off of the glove of the third baseman, Ash. And due to that, Velazquez gets on base again. It's recorded as a base hit.
Velazquez using the speed to get down to first. Not normally her strong suit. She usually can hit herself on with ease. But with the third baseman not being able to glove that one cleanly, it also allowed Annalyn Duncan to get to third base. So now runners on the corners for the cleanup hitter.
Jalen Whipple scored a triple in the bottom of the first, her 11th of the year, which, as we said earlier, leads the entire nation. So very familiar to extra bases, and with the runner in scoring position, looking to continue to add to this Eastern Florida lead. One is fouled. That was a laser where resulted in Duncan having to duck.
Lena Jones coming in last inning to a really tough situation with the bases loaded and just 1 out. Was able to get out of it. Thought it could bring some momentum to this pitching staff, but the Titans have jumped on her here in the second.
Next pitch is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jalen Whipple. And a swing and a miss. Jones getting her second strikeout of the day. Sits down Jalen Whipple. It's now Madison Velasquez, Avery's sister, into the batter's box. And that one is grounded into right field and will bring home another run. 5-0 for Eastern Florida. Early goings in this game.
Madison almost hit her sister Avery on the base paths there, shooting one into right field. Good job by Avery to avoid it. And the scoring just keeps on coming for the Titans here in the first 2 innings.
Now both Velasquez sisters on base. Avery at second and Madison on first. Bring Carissa Howell into the box. We saw the first pitch go outside the zone for ball 1. Next one is right in there for strike 1. So 1-1 the count.
Howell, the sophomore from Lakeland, singled in her first at-bat in the first. Average coming into today at .328 with 4 home runs and 25 RBIs, and has 3 multi-hit games in their last 6.
The 2-1. Swung on and missed for strike 2. That one is hit high towards left center, but coming in is Collins to record the second out. Both Velasquez sisters will hold their positions on their bases. And it'll bring Jessica Merck, the shortstop for today. Sees the first pitch go right inside the zone for strike 1.
In her first at-bat, Merck took a walk, one of the 3 walks Eastern Florida State took in the first inning. That one was to load the bases with just 1 out. The Titans were unable to take advantage of that. Now another walk would load the bases once again.
Next pitch is low. The 2-1. Popped up in the infield. Coming in is Rivera to record the final out and end the inning. But not before Eastern Florida had some more runs. It's 5-0. Eastern Florida leads it. Top of the third, Eastern Florida leads at 5-0 over St. Petersburg. Zoe Mills still in the circle for the Eastern Florida Titans. It's Brooke Bonaliewicz in the batter's box for the first time today, the left fielder for St. Pete.
In the first inning, Mills allowed 2 singles before retiring Amberlynn Collins to get out of the inning, but the second inning was more of what we've seen from her lately. 1, 2, 3 inning, including a strikeout.
Brooke Bonaliewicz is 3 for her last 5. 303 average in the 47 games she's appeared in. Next pitch is right in there. Does have a home run on the year with long to go with 20 RBIs this season. 2-2 is way high, but Emma George able to handle it. But it'll bring the count to full for the leadoff hitter in this inning for St. Petersburg. And a swing and a miss. Zoe Mills' second strikeout of the day sits down Brooke Bonaliewicz.
It's always nice when you can get the number 9 hitter out. Their job is just to get on base for the top of the order. Good job by Bonaliewicz to work the count full. Had an opportunity to get on base, but a great pitch from Mills on that payoff pitch. Retires her and brings the leadoff hitter up with no one on base and 1 out.
And back to the top of the order with Jensen Nelson. It's a designated player. And this game 1 for St. Petersburg. Now sees herself at a 1-1 count. Like what you said, Porter, Zoe Mills gave up those 2 singles and the top of the first, but was able to retire to the side in the second. That one is hit high, way high, and Aracelis Jimenez comes in to record the second out. Was hit right into the shallow outfield part and handled nicely by Eastern Florida Aracelis Jimenez.
That could have been trouble. Bit in between the infield and outfield, but with the speed of Jimenez in center field, she takes charge, takes command, calls the rest off, and easily makes the play.
And Rivera is the next batter in the box, and that one was hit into foul territory. Several Eastern Florida players went to chase it. We saw Madison Velasquez go out there, Scott and Duncan all trying to record the final out of the top of the third. Rivera grounded out in her first appearance. The 0-1 is right in there for strike 2. Home plate umpire giving a bit of a delayed
That was very
call
delayed
on a quite a obvious pitch. I mean, that one was right in the strike zone.
Well, I'm sure he said it, but we just can't hear it from where we are.
Several umbrellas we see here in the crowd, too.
The motion was very delayed.
You know, my hope is that from our view is the person sitting in front of me doesn't stand up with the umbrella off of a big play. The next pitch is a called strike 3. Zoe Mills retires the side and records another strikeout to her on the day. Still 5-0 Eastern Florida as we head to the bottom of the third. Welcome back to the Titans softball complex. Eastern Florida Titans lead it over the St. Petersburg Titans 5-0. And what's been quite a dominant performance so far early in this doubleheader. Brooklyn Scott to lead things off in this inning for Andrew Zieger's team. Alina Jones still in the circle for St. Petersburg. First two pitches outside the zone, so a 2-0 count for Brooklyn Scott. That one is swung on, hit hard towards right field and over the head of Diaz. Scott going for extra bases, and she's going to get a leadoff triple for Brooklyn Scott. You cannot tell if that one was Jalen Whipple or Brooklyn Scott with the way she hit that ball.
It's her first triple of the year. She still has 10 to go to catch Whipple. But a good piece of hitting. Lets the ball travel and goes the other way. Gets enough power on it to get it over the right fielder. And showed off the wheels to get all the way to third.
That brings Emma George as the next batter for Eastern Florida. The catcher. The only player, one of the only players, or she's
It is the only
player
player
batting under 300, but just barely coming in with 297 average.
She's also the only player who hasn't reached base today. Of course, she's had one less at bat than everyone else.
So they could change that here.
And then game one of the doubleheader last month between these two teams, she went 4 for 4 with 2 doubles.
Duo is swung on and fouled. Two and one for Emma George. See if she can reach base, and looks like she's going to. That one is lined into center field to score a run. 6-0. RBI single for Emma George. Increasing that average. She's going to get to that 300 point if this is the way the game's going to go today.
That leaves just one player for Eastern Florida without a hit, and it's Jessica Merck, but she has walked in this game, so every Titan now has reached base with nobody out in the third inning.
We're going to have a pitching change again. Alina Jones is going to make an exit. Bree Myers, the head coach, opting for another change. It is 6-0 Eastern Florida over St. Petersburg. Eastern Florida still chasing a higher seeding and trying to clinch an FCSAA tournament berth here in a very, very tough Citrus Conference. And we're going to step aside as St. Pete makes the change. So the St. Petersburg make the pitching change. Addison Lamb comes in, the third pitcher of this game, as they see Arcelis Jimenez for the third time today in 3 innings. And Lamb wasting no time with the pitches. Emma George is the runner on first. And Emma George takes off. The throw comes in way late. George didn't have the best jump off of first base, but the catcher, Aaliyah Tenney, did not seem to be so aware of the runner taking off.
It's like she was more focused on framing that pitch, trying to steal a strike for the pitcher, and then George, with her second stolen base of the year, gets into scoring position, still with nobody out here in the bottom of the third.
First 3 pitches by Lamb were all outside the zone, but the next pitch is a called strike 1 on Jimenez. That one is also right in there, so a full count now on Jimenez. And I think if you're Leah Tenney already being so late on the throw, you might as well have saved your arm and just not made a throw at all. That one is rounded down the line. It's going to bring home George, and Jimenez with a stand-up double to make this a 7-0 ball game.
With the threat Jimenez poses as a bunter, and with her speed, the third baseman was way in case she did bunt. That's what allowed Jimenez to scoot that double right down that third base line.
And they are so it seems like they're going to bring George back to second, and not exactly sure what's happening. I mean, at the plate right now is Annalyn Duncan, who fouls that one back. Now on an 0-2 count. I think Arcelis Jimenez is ruled out. I mean, that is now a 3-pitch strikeout for Addison Lamb. And Avery Velasquez, one of the star players, is now up to the plate. So Emma George is back at second base.
I'm honestly not sure why it's not Jimenez out there at second base, but it definitely is Emma George. And there's at least one out here after the strikeout to Duncan.
The pitch is high. One and 1 count. Next pitch is inside for strike 2 on Avery Velasquez.
Velasquez 2 for 2 in this game. Both times she's been up to bat, there's been a runner on second base. Has 1 RBI.
Pitch low and away for ball 2. So an even count. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Avery Velasquez. Next pitch is inside for ball 3, full now. And Avery Velasquez 2 for 2 on the day. As we mentioned earlier, her and her sister Madison have committed to going to Syracuse to play at the NCAA Division I level, and draws in a walk. So 2 runners on for Eastern Florida. We'll bring up the extra base machine, Jalen Whipple, to the plate.
Looks like Andrew Ziegler is making sure his team knows there's actually 2 outs. So the base runners will be on the move on contact, as something Jimenez did must have led her to being out.
So it is 2 outs in this. And next pitch is right in there for a strike on Jalen Whipple. So it is 2 outs for Eastern Florida after we received some clarification on the Aracelis Jimenez incident. Next pitch fouled back.
Addison Lamb in the circle, projected to be the Game 2 starter. It's their 23rd game. The 6.32 ERA.
And that is another passed ball. It's going to see Jalen Whipple get on base. I think it was a walk. They drawn the walk. The count I thought was set.
Might have hit her.
Did it hit her?
I think it hit her. Now the base is loaded.
So, bases loaded again for Eastern Florida as Madison Velasquez nearly smoked one over the left field wall. That was just fouled. We saw all the runners taking off.
This is a Eastern Florida State lineup with a lot of power. 44 home runs, almost a home run a game on average. And Madison Velasquez is third on the team with 6.
That one grounded Ash to Schleesing to record the final out. As we head to the top of the 4th, Eastern Florida still leads it big over St. Petersburg. Top of the 4th, Eastern Florida Titans lead it over the St. Petersburg Titans 6-0. Teresa Diaz is the leadoff hitter for St. Pete. Zoe Mills has retired the last 7 St. Pete batters. That one is foul towards right field. And Porter, we received some more clarification.
Yes, much needed clarification.
The Aracelis Jimenez at bat. It was a really delayed call by the home plate umpire.
It was, but it was ruled a strikeout, just like what we saw right there.
Right there, Zoe Mills recording her 4th strikeout. Sitting down Teresa Diaz.
It was ruled a strikeout because Aracelis Jimenez, the count was 3-2, and she ran up so much she was out of the box when she hit it. So it counts as a strike and strike 3. But the reason it was delayed was because if St. Pete got an out normally, it would count as an out like that. But since Jimenez got a triple on it, it was taken back and ruled a strikeout instead.
So an unusual oddity that we've seen here in this game. And several confusion with us up here in the booth. But after clarification we received, it was a strikeout, a ruled strikeout, as Schlesing has a bit of a blooper into shallow right field for a base hit. So after Zoe Mills retired 8 straight St. Petersburg batters, Schlesing ends that trend with a base hit into right field.
And the score is just 6-0 instead of 7-0 as
Right, yes,
on
correct.
Jimenez's triple / strikeout. Emma George did score, but she was sent back to second base, so that run did not count. Eastern Florida State only scored 1 in the third, so it is 6-0.
And I think the funnier part about all of it was everyone down on the field acted like it was a completely normal thing to happen. And we saw all the confusion that was going on up here, including with our scoreboard operator as well. But we have to deduct that runoff, so it was 6-0, and a couple scribbles made to our scorecards as well.
I'll tell you, whenever June and I are on the call at Eastern Florida State, something weird's going down. So
Emerlyn Collins is the batter in the box for St. Petersburg. And I mean, couldn't be the closest thing to the truth as what we experienced on Tuesday night or late afternoon. We had that debate between
evening, June. It was evening.
Between Eastern Florida State against the State College of Florida Manatees in their baseball game, which is right across the street from the Titan softball complex at Bruce Bochy Field. It was quite an interesting game where we saw 10 recorded errors combined between the teams. That one is lined to second.
We also saw a lot of that, June.
That is something we saw a lot of on Tuesday night. Some base running errors. That one was hit right towards Duncan and able to throw out the runner as well to get the force out. So, quick inning. It is still 6-0 Eastern Florida as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Welcome back to the Titan softball complex. Eastern Florida leads 6-0. June Yoon and Porter Kelly on the call of Game 1 of the Citrus Conference doubleheader. Carissa Howell is the leadoff hitter in this inning for Andrew Zieger's side. She'll take the first pitch for a strike. Apologies for that.
Carissa Howell 1 for 2 on the day. Single up the middle in her first at bat. And she flew out to center in her second.
1-1 count. Addison Lamb is still in the circle for St. Petersburg. Next pitch was low.
Howell now looking for her 4th multi-hit game in what would be her last 7 games. Continuing her offensive hot streak, which I guess we could say for pretty much any Eastern Florida State hitter is they're on a hot streak. Is it really a streak though if they've been doing it all year, I guess?
It's a very long streak is what it is. The 31 was fouled back to bring the count to full on Carissa Howell. hit far into center field, but Collins is there to record the out. And Jessica Merck will come into the batter's box. Does not have a hit yet in this game, but was able to reach base in the bottom of the first.
She's the only Eastern Florida State hitter without a hit. Trying to join the club here. At this point, with a 6-run lead, don't know how many more at-bats you're going to get here in the 4th inning.
There is the run rule of an 8-run lead after 5. But Eastern Florida is not there just yet. And still some innings left to play for St. Petersburg to prevent that from happening and extending this ball game. 0-2 the count on Jessica Merck after the foul ball.
After scoring 5 runs in the first 2, they've just scored 1 last inning. And Crawford did a good job getting the leadoff hitter, Carissa Howell, out and is ahead now of Jessica Merck.
Pitch is foul towards right field. Count will remain at 1-2. I believe Carissa Howell was the first leadoff hitter of an inning that didn't reach base as well for Eastern Florida.
I think you're right about that.
On 1-2, a swing and a miss for a strikeout, and Addison Lamb, who has plenty of strikeouts this season, just adds another one. This pitch is inside on Brooklyn Scott.
And that was strikeout number 62 for Lamb on the season. Second highest St. Pete pitcher is just at 32.
Scott hits that one high into left field and able to make the play is Bonaliewicz. So for the first time today, St. Petersburg able to, 1-2-3 inning as Lamb retires the side. Still 6-0 Eastern Florida as we head to the top of the 5th. The 4th was the first scoreless inning we saw in this game, as Eastern Florida was blanked. Still lead at 6-0 over St. Petersburg. Brings Sydney Ralston into the batter's box for St. Petersburg to try and get something going and get back into this game.
Zoe Mills has really just mowed through this lineup just like she did when she matched up against them in March. She went 6 scoreless so far. Now 4 scoreless in this one. If you add those together, she's gone 10 scoreless against this Titans lineup.
Next pitch comes in, is high and away for ball 1. Montana Ash is in the on-deck circle. As that one is going to fall into shallow right field for a base hit. A leadoff single for Sydney Ralston. And kind of exactly what you need if you're Bree Myers and this St. Petersburg team down by 6.
Good job by Ralston fighting that pitch, finding a hole somewhere in right field. Leadoff runner on for, I believe, the first time for St. Pete.
And that one similarly hit towards right field, but coming in was Scott to record the first out. Had to force Ralston to rush back to first to make sure that she was safe. Pitch is inside for strike 1.
It's a good job by Ralston, able to get back to first base after it was caught in right field. So we saw what ended last inning for St. Pete when the liner to second got caught too far off the bag, couldn't make it back in time for a double play.
Addison Lamb's first appearance in the batter's box today. We've seen 3 different pitchers in the batter's box for St. Petersburg in this one. Fouled that one. So 0-2 count. Lamb with a 176 average coming into this game. That one grounded off the glove of Madison Velasquez. And it's going to be, I think we're going to record that one as an error. So 2 on all of a sudden for St. Petersburg. Something they haven't seen since the first inning. Addison Lamb able to get on base.
With how far the base path bags are, if you bobble a ground ball, it's going to be really hard for you to recover and still get an out. And that's what Madison Velasquez found. That's a situation she found herself in. The speed of the Titans. No chance to get him at second, and since she was the one fielding, there was no one to cover first base, even if she did have a play there.
Bonnie Lewitz was showing bunt, try to lay one down. I think the small ball approach is what you need if you're St. Petersburg down by 6.
That's what this offense does. Just 81 extra base hits this year. That's not their strong suit. And if you compare it to Eastern Florida State, they have more doubles, just doubles, than St. Pete has all extra base hits. So getting these runners on, playing small ball, being able to get infield singles.
That one was grounded right towards Whipple and not able to throw out the runner, as it also hit off of her glove as well. So the infielders on the corners saw a couple of balls coming off their gloves as they were grounded right to them. But now all of a sudden St. Petersburg have the bases loaded with just 1 out.
That one was hit hard enough to Whipple that it definitely could have been a double play. It looked like she was going to go step on the bag quickly and then fire across the diamond to first. Maybe just focused on finding the bag before she secured the softball. Caused her to bobble it and get nobody out instead.
It will take us back to the top of the order with Nelson in the batter's box. 0 for 2 in this game. Fouls that one back. It's the first time we've really seen Zoe Mills struggle since the first inning, if you even want to call it a struggle in that one.
First time a St. Pete player has been on third base. Definitely the most adversity Mills has seen in this start. Still with a chance to get out of it without allowing a run, though.
And with the bases loaded, if you're Eastern Florida, there's a force out at every single base.
If it's hit hard enough at a corner, you could see him look to go home with it.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Jensen Nelson. Coming in with a 4-game hit streak in this game. St. Petersburg could use another hit from her with the bases loaded. That one foul towards right field.
Good job battling these pitches, fouling off tough pitches from Mills, taking pitches outside of the zone. Don't necessarily need a hit to bring home a run and bring home your first run of the game.
Next pitch is right in there for strike 3. Nelson strikes out looking. And exactly what Zoe Mills needed. A huge strikeout from her to record the second out. Now we'll see Rivera step into the box for the 3rd time today.
You see runners on third base and in scoring position with less than 2 outs. You really are looking for a pop out in the infield, somewhere in the infield, or a strikeout like Mills got there, because there's no chance for a runner to come home to score. Now she's just 1 out away from keeping this game, or keeping St. Pete scoreless through 5 innings.
A swing and a miss for strike 1. And that it does leave the opportunity for the Eastern Florida State Titans to walk it off in the 5th inning if they record 2 more runs.
May have just seen Emma George save a run there. That pitch from Mills got away. George sticks her glove out. It was high and away to the batter. If that gets by, there's potential for the first run.
That one popped up high into foul territory.
Looks like it drops.
I was hoping you were going to be able to have a better view of that.
We cannot. The first base dugout is
it's the corner
slightly
of the
in
roof
the way.
is blocking my line of vision on that.
I just looked at the home plate umpire. He threw his hands up, signifying a foul ball. It looked like they could have had a play at it in foul ground, but
it looked like Madison Velasquez had a good jump off of it. Next pitch is check swing for ball 3. So full count with 2 outs and bases loaded for St. Petersburg.
Mills has to come into the zone here. Nowhere to put Rivera. And runners should be on the move here with the 3-2 count and 2 outs.
Rivera grounds one to second. Duncan to Velasquez. And St. Petersburg leaves the bases loaded. And the top of the 5th, it's still 6-0 Eastern Florida. A bit of better hitting from St. Petersburg was handled well by Zoe Mills and the rest of this Eastern Florida team as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Emma George will lead things off for Eastern Florida here in the bottom of the 5th, up 6-0. And with the ruling here in junior college softball, 2 more runs will walk it off, and they'll take game 1 of this doubleheader. As George has one drop into shallow center for a base hit, first pitch swinging.
That'll bring the winning run, like you said, to the plate. It's hard to believe if Araceli Jimenez will walk it off right here. She'll need a home run. It would be her first of the year.
Would be some way to get your first as well.
But if she can get on base as well, it's a speedy winning run.
She lays down the bunt as usual. And the throw is in time. Montana Ash did really well to get to the ball quick and throw the runner out.
Really good job by the St. Pete defense overall, because that bunt was in between both the pitcher, catcher, and third baseman. But with the third baseman, Montana Ash's momentum, it was an easier throw, and she made a very strong throw to get the speedy Jimenez.
Annalyn Duncan, first pitch takes for strike 1.
Now this is someone who could end the game with 1 swing, tied for the team lead with 11 home runs.
That pitch is inside and low. So that one is hit high and deep towards the warning track, but able to make the play is the center fielder Collins, and tagging up is Emma George to get the third. So quick 2 outs after the leadoff single by Emma George.
She got good wood on that, but, well, I guess they don't use wood bats here, but not enough to get it out. The center fielder did have to move back. It was probably the best chance we've seen so far at a home run, but just came up a little short. Here's another chance with Avery Velazquez,
who is the batter who is tied with
Yep.
Annalyn Duncan for 11 home runs on this Eastern Florida team. And she's very patient in the batter's box as well, as you wait for the pitch she likes to take a real big swing at it.
This would be the pitch to do that, ahead 2-0.
Next pitch is just inside the zone for strike 1, so 2 balls and a strike. With 2 outs, Emma George in scoring position. Pitch is lasered, and that one is going to stay fair and score a run. It is 7-0, a stand-up double for Avery Velazquez.
Well, I guess that's why they call it the hot corner, June, because that ball got on Montana Ash quickly. She got her glove up as fast as she could. Just no chance. Avery Velazquez smoked that softball.
So it's 7-0 for the second time technically that we've seen
that's
on the scoreboard. Conversations in the circle for St. Petersburg between Tenney and Lamb. As with the ruling, another run would walk it off and win it for Eastern Florida. And Jalen Whipple, as we are going to say throughout the entirety of the broadcast, is just another batter that you don't want to see. That one hit high into the outfield, and coming in is Diaz to record the out. So we will have a 6th inning in this game. It's only 7-0, not able to walk it off and run rule it was Eastern Florida, but we will head to the top of the 6th. We do have a sixth inning in this game, despite the large advantage by Eastern Florida. Weren't able to record 8 runs to make it 8 after 5 and end this first game of the doubleheader early. That one is lined into right field for a base hit for Teresa Diaz, who was able to make the catch out in right field in the previous inning to extend this ball game.
Diaz coming in had 3 multi-hit games in her last 5. This is her second single of this one, so that makes 4 multi-hit games in her last 6 games.
A big swing and a miss from Lexi Schlesing. Pitch from Mills. That one is hit right to Brooklyn Scott for the first out.
It's a nice hit there by Schlesing, but unfortunately for her, just right at, like you said, the right fielder Scott for the first out of the top of the 6th.
Amberlyn Collins makes her way into the box for the 3rd time today. Also 0 for 2 on the day. That one fouled back.
Zoe Mills looking to have her second straight 6 scoreless outing against this St. Petersburg Titans lineup. Wasn't sure if she'd be able to get out for the 6th inning, all based on her offense last inning, but she's out there and she still looks just as good as she was in the first.
That one looked to hit off the glove of Emma George. Not quite sure if Collins got a piece of that one. Nonetheless, still a strike. That one is fouled. One and 2 count with the runner on first. And that pitch is just high for ball 2. Seems like some fans in attendance were in disagreement with that call.
Haven't seen too much of that this game, though. It's been a pretty cleanly called game by these 2 umpires.
Popped up towards short, and Merck able to make the catch for out number 2. We'll bring the shortstop, Sydney Ralston, to try and get some scoring going on for St. Petersburg. They've been blanked in every inning so far.
Ralston got him going last inning with the leadoff single. Got stranded at 3rd base when they loaded the bases, but weren't able to capitalize on it.
That one grounded right to Maddie Velasquez, who steps on the bag to record the final out of the top of the 6th. So we head to the bottom of the inning. Still 7-0 Eastern Florida. Madison Velasquez recorded the last out of the top of the inning. Is going to try to put a bow on things for Eastern Florida. Up by 7 runs.
Velasquez had an at-bat in each of the first 3 innings. That just goes to show how locked in their offense was.
That one is hit deep into foul territory down the right field line.
But she hasn't bat since that 3rd inning. And that's a testament to Addison Lamb. Has been able to slow down this Eastern Florida State offense just a little bit.
Madison Velasquez has 6 home runs this year. So a solo shot could end this game. That one was hammered fouled. So 0-2 on Madison Velasquez. Addison Lamb is still in the circle for St. Petersburg, who overall has done pretty well against this strong Titans lineup. I thought if she had hit a home run after saying that, that would have been something.
You tend to have those announcer jinx moments, June.
A bit too often. A little bit too often.
Well, just say the opposite of what you want to happen, and then it'll happen.
You know, not playing so much of favorites.
Because you're biased.
Not biased. Only when it comes to Giants-Dodgers.
Oh, gosh. Not this again.
Next pitch was inside. You want to tell me what happened on Tuesday and Wednesday night?
Why are we focusing on the past? Let's focus right now, and that's Madison Velasquez in the batter's box.
That one lined into left field for a base hit for Madison Velasquez. I could turn right back my attention into the game.
Thank you, Madison. You made him talk about something else. I don't want to talk about that. The other thing.
Giants took the series over the Los Angeles Dodgers, winning 2 games of a 3-game series. As my partner reported, Kelly, is no comments or words on that.
It's okay. We're gonna win.
But your Los Angeles Lakers have gone up 3 games to nothing over the Houston Rockets.
Quite a surprise. I'm usually one of the more optimistic fans, but even I didn't have any optimism. So I'm pleasantly surprised with how they're doing.
Carissa Howell getting ready to step into the batter's box. A pinch runner has come in place of Madison Velasquez, and the runner takes off. The throw was made over to the shortstop, but it was dropped by Ralston.
Looks like that's Martha Jones, number 16, who pitch ran for Velasquez.
Jones has 2 stolen bags on the year.
Now adds a 3rd. And is the winning run.
As Howell gets hit by the pitch. So in the end, the Eastern Florida Titans still get 2 runners on. And now Andrew Ziegler making his way to the home plate umpire.
Looks like we have a pinch hitter here.
To
number 7, Avery Helms.
So Avery Helms. Andrew Ziegler opts to go to the bench, with Jessica Merck not having a hit today. So Avery Helms, first pitch she sees is high for ball 1.
It's just her 19th at bat. She's hitting .278 with 5 hits and a couple of RBIs on the year.
So even the bench of the Eastern Florida team has been productive for them throughout this season. Called strike 1 to even the count. no outs here in the bottom of the sixth. 8 runs will end this ball game. As that one is hit high towards left field. And that one is going to end the game 8-0. As Avery Helms, the pinch hitter, and that's all they needed. Eastern Florida, the players took a bit of time to get off of the field. Started to question my own sanity with that one. But that does end the game. Stand-up double, which probably would have scored the other run. They only needed the one. Ends it 8-0. Eastern Florida wins the first of 2 in today's doubleheaders in this clash of Titans.
And honestly, I thought Helms got all of that one.
I thought so as well.
Home run. I'm like, you're doing too much, Avery Helms. You only need 1 run.
You only needed
a 3-run
one.
home run. Ends up being just shy of a home run. Dropping down on the track. Still plenty deep enough to win this game for Eastern Florida State.
And I had questioned a bit. The players took a while. They didn't treat it like a walk-off.
Well, when she made contact, some people came out of the dugout for Eastern Florida State, so maybe they thought she went deep too. Saw it landed, and if that was caught, it would have been interesting because a lot of the base runners were off the bag, thinking maybe that was a home run as well.
It said Bada Leewitz all the way back to the warning track,
Yes.
and it looked high enough to the point where it was going to get over the left field wall, and it was just coming down like a meteor shot right down to her.
Well, we see the American flag blowing left to right, so hitting it out to left field would be very difficult.
But a dominant performance by Eastern Florida. Some oddities that we did see, not as much as we saw Tuesday night in the baseball game between the Eastern Florida State Titans and the State College of Florida Manatees. But both teams are going to regroup as we see as we get ready for Game 2 of this doubleheader. 36th win of the year for Andrew Zeger's side and the 22nd in the conference. As we mentioned before, trying to chase that tournament berth and clinch it in a very, very strong Citrus Conference. As Santa Fe and the Santa Fe Saints and Indian River have a bit of a jump off of Eastern Florida in the conference standings.
With this win, though, Eastern Florida State does jump over Indian River in the win column, with improving to 22-11 in the conference, with Indian River just half a game behind at 21-11.
And Indian River lost a doubleheader on Tuesday to FSW, the leaders in this Citrus Conference, with Santa Fe having a doubleheader against Florida Southwestern, the leaders today. So it is working out in the favor of Eastern Florida with how the schedule is playing out for them to get that jump and clinch a tournament berth. Florida Southwestern Buccaneers are the only team in the Citrus Conference to clinch a tournament berth. It's been a very, very tight conference. We've seen multiple teams in this conference ranked nationally, including Eastern Florida. Florida Southwestern, the number 1 team in the entire country as well.
For good reason. They're 29-3 in the Citrus Conference. Like you said, this is a really good conference. So being 29-3 in any conference is an accomplishment, but especially in the Citrus Conference with teams like Santa Fe, Eastern Florida State, Indian River, and many more.
And the team sitting in 7th is Daytona State, who Eastern Florida beat earlier this week, is 21st nationally. Yes. And they may not see the postseason. So a huge win and doing what they needed to do and handle business over an 8-win St. Petersburg team. And again, you can't take any team in this conference lightly despite record. And Eastern Florida took care of business today. But we're going to bring in another member of our crew. Natalie Ruiz is down on the field, or right at the bottom of the bleachers, with head coach Andrew Ziegler.
Coach Z, what stood out to you the most from your team's performance in Game 1?
Yeah, so we definitely passed the bat. We got up and we were ready to hit, and we passed the bat. Scoring 3 in the first and 2 in the second were big for us, and then we went from there. And we had a huge pitching performance by Zoe.
What areas are you looking to build on?
We can't stop passing the bat. We left bases loaded twice in 2 of the innings, and then we went 3-2-1, 0-1-1. We want to get that done in the 5th inning if we can do that next time.
How does this game shape what you need from the rest of your team moving forward?
It's huge. You see Avery coming in at the last inning, getting that hit, finish the game. Just people stepping up when they step up, and we got to be strong down the stretch here, trying to get a 2 or 3 seed moving forward for playoffs.
Perfect. Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Natalie, for that. And that is going to conclude Game 1 of this doubleheader. And we'll provide special thanks going out to Eastern Florida State Sports Information Director Mike Parsons, Athletic Director Jeff Carr, and the rest of the staff here at Eastern Florida State College. We're going to send it down back to Natalie Ruiz, as she is going to have a secondary interview here. A bit unexpected here. She's down with Emma George, the catcher for the Titans.
Guys, I'm here with Emma. Emma, how does this win set the tone heading into Game 2?
It definitely sets a tone of that there's no going below that point. We have to continue adjusting, keeping up the energy, and being able to grow as a team for the next game.
What's one thing you're hoping to personally adjust?
I'm hoping to adjust maybe my energy a little bit. I feel like as a whole we were a little dead, and so I think also if I were to bring my energy up, I think it would bring the team up as a whole.
And how do you stay locked in when every game matters right now?
Honestly, we just take it pitch by pitch. We're thinking we're not trying to think too big or too small. We're just thinking about that pitch and how to win that pitch.
Perfect. Thank you. Back to you guys. Good. Good. Thank you.
So we did get 2 interviews from Natalie Ruiz. Bit unexpected. I will continue my thanks out. We are going to thank the information director here at Eastern Florida State College, Mike Parsons, the athletic director, Jeff Carr, and the rest of the staff here at Eastern Florida State College for their hard work in making this broadcast possible, and also thanking the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting for providing us with this opportunity. But stick with us. We're not done yet this afternoon. Game 2 of the doubleheader is coming up, scheduled for within the half hour. We're going to switch things up. Porter Kelly will do play-by-play, and I will be doing the color. Thanks so much for spending part of the afternoon. We hope you stay with us for Game 2 between the Eastern Florida State Titans and the St. Petersburg Titans.
Hello and welcome, or welcome back to Melbourne, Florida. For those of you who are with us for Game 1 of this Citrus Conference doubleheader between the visiting St. Petersburg Titans and the East Florida State Titans. I'm Porter Kelly, joined by June Yoon. If you couldn't catch Game 1, it was all East Florida State, walking it off in the 6th inning due to the run rule with a final score of 8-0. June, how does the East Florida lineup stack up in Game 2 as we're about to get going?
Well, it is pretty similar to what we saw in Game 1. But today on the mound in Game 2 is going to be Isabella Rosales coming in with a 2.15 ERA. We'll get the start in the circle.
So we get going here. Bit of miscommunication after Rosales' first pitch. It looked like it won't actually count. So we'll do the first pitch of the game again. Rosales fires it in for strike one.
Well, Rosales is the pitcher in the circle. Throwing down the signs behind the plate is Emmett George, who started in the previous game. And a lot of that is going to be frequent throughout the rest of this, as we have Madison Velasquez over at first, Annalyn Duncan at second, Jalen Whipple playing third again, and Jessica Merck at short at sixth, in the sixth spot. Then from left to right, the outfield also remains the same with Howell, Jimenez, and Scott.
Count now 2-2 to the St. Pete leadoff hitter, Jensen Nelson, the same leadoff hitter as Game 1. Comes the pitch from Rosales. The count will now be full.
Isabel Rosales, as we mentioned earlier, 2.15 ERA, 12-2 record coming into this doubleheader. Just 26 strikeouts to the 19 batters that she's walked this season.
So that's on the ground to third. Whipple fires across the diamond in time to get Nelson at first. A good start to the day for Rosales in this East Florida State defense.
That was a long at-bat for Nelson, who in the previous game didn't reach base once, struck out looking and had a fly out and a pop out. Was 0 for 3 in that one, and that hitless streak continues.
So that's lifted to right. The catch is made. 2 quick outs now for Rosales as the right fielder Scott is able to haul it in with ease.
Yeah, and Scott coming in, just another routine play. And Rosales, not a big strikeout pitcher as her counterpart in Avery Velasquez, who I thought we may have expected to see in this game too, but Rosales is the one who gets the start. So we're going to expect quite a bit of contact coming in, but with how good this Eastern Florida State team is on both sides of the ball, we'll see they'll still be able to try and pinch another shutout.
So we see Diaz pop one to shallow right. It's called off. Catch is made by Duncan. Quick 1-2-3 for the Titans. The top of the order coming to bat when we come back. We are back for the bottom of the first as Aracelis Jimenez is ready in the left-hander's batter's box for Game 2 after they score 8 runs in the first in June. What does St. Pete's defensive alignment look like?
They have Sydney Walker inside of the circle starting for them in this game. And then Aaliyah Tenney keeps her spot behind the plate, throwing down the signs at catcher. Then Schlesing is playing first. Over at second base is going to be Rivera. Montana Ash at third. Shortstop is going to be Ralston. And then at the outfield from left to right, Bonaliewicz, Collins, and Diaz. So both teams with not a lot of changes apart from the pitcher when it comes to their fielding alignment.
Not a lot of changes to how they're playing. Jimenez in the infield. Third base and second base way in, guarding the bunt, but Jimenez swinging away. She fouls off that 1-1 pitch.
And Jimenez, as we mentioned in game one, just a lot of speed to her. Had 2 stolen bases in the last one. Came into this one with 31 stolen bases. Now brought that up to 33. She's so quick that even laying down a bunt will get her on base.
Yeah, she got on base twice in their first game. In her first 2 at-bats with a walk and a single. Almost had a triple in the third as well. But it got called back as she swung outside of the batter's box. 1-2 is taken way outside.
It was one of those kind of oddities that are seen in the game of softball and baseball, which, again, we saw a lot of Tuesday night in the baseball game. But she's eventually called on a strikeout because she stepped too far out of the batter's box.
She swings and lines one. What a play there by the shortstop, Ralston. Gets the speedy Jimenez out to start the game, and that's a big out.
Yeah, and Jimenez, we saw multiple times in that first game laying down the bunt and trying to rely on the speed to get on base, and took a bit of a swing on that one and just lined that one. And it was a nice play made by third baseman.
With the speed that Jimenez has, it's huge that they get her out to start. Don't want her wreaking havoc on the base paths with nobody out. And a dangerous hitter up now in Annalyn Duncan.
Yeah, Annalyn Duncan with a tied for the lead in home runs on this Eastern Florida State Titans team. Tied with Avery Velasquez. 11 home runs on the year has been truly something that has been impressive.
She got ahead 2-0 on Walker, but Walker fires in the first strike of the at-bat. Still ahead in the count, though, looking for a pitch to hit. Instead, she gets hit by the pitch. That will be the first base runner of the game for Eastern Florida. Now 1 on with 1 out. We'll bring up Avery Velasquez.
And that's the player, as we mentioned, also has 11 home runs and tied for the lead on this team. She's a huge hitter. 63 RBIs on the year coming into this game. Coming into this series, top 5 in the FCSAA in home runs, RBIs.
Sydney Walker gets ahead of her with the first pitch strike, and I hate to do this to you, June, but you brought up the Giants and Dodgers last game. But Avery Velasquez's favorite athlete is Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
I would have expected maybe Shohei Ohtani with the way how she plays on both sides. With how she hits in the batter's box and how she pitches as well. And again, it's somebody that we thought we could have seen start for this Eastern Florida team. But they gave the start to Rosales, and Avery Velasquez, 1.22 ERA on the year and a staggering 51 strikeouts.
I'm sorry, World Series MVP Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
No, we're still stuck on that, right?
Down is 1-2 to Velasquez. She's able to get a piece and stay alive in the at-bat. I just didn't feel like I did him justice there. Sorry.
Yeah, 2014 Madison Bumgarner, I still think was way better than what Yamamoto did in that World Series.
Guys can't see inside the booth here, but I just had the biggest eye roll of my life, I'm pretty sure. Another 1-2. Velasquez, another foul ball. Like we said in game one, the Velasquez sisters both have signed with Syracuse for next season, making the jump to NCAA Division I. So that one's taken high. They're looking to finish this season strong with Eastern Florida. And will this team to the playoffs? Still in a battle for a top 3 spot in the FCSAA tournament. 2-2 on the ground to third. They go to second for one, on to first, not in time, but a good job by the St. Pete defense, including Montana Ash, to get the first out and the lead runner.
And maybe there's not the way, it's not the same way that this game was in game one in the way that it started. And I'd say with St. Petersburg, defensively and pitching has been significantly better here in this first inning than it was in the previous.
Couple good defensive plays there by the left side of the St. Pete Titans. I was just going to say Titans, but we do need to specify which team, as both mascots are Titans. But the St. Pete Titans, the shortstop Ralston and third base Ash, made the plays to get the first 2 outs of this inning. Now Velasquez is over at first for the cleanup hitter Jalen Whipple. Whipple takes high there. She's ahead of the count, 2-1.
Yeah, Whipple, as we say, extra base machine. Just recorded her 11th triple in the previous game, which leads the entire nation. She also had some home runs in the previous games.
Skies one to right center, tailing away from the center fielder. The diving try by Collins is unsuccessful. Velasquez gets to third. Whipple 1-2, but a good throw out there by Diaz. Holds her to a single. We'll now have runners on first and third with 2 outs here, and Madison Velasquez stepping up to the plate.
They would have been able to throw out Jalen Whipple if Lexi Schlesing was back in her position on first base. I mean, they had that throw come in from the outfield to the infield quick.
First pitch to Madison Velasquez is taken for a ball as she has the opportunity to knock in her sister, Avery, over there at third base.
And these sisters, I mean, both of them going to Syracuse is well deserved.
Ground ball up the middle. It gets past the diving Ralston into center field. Avery Velasquez will score on the Madison Velasquez RBI single.
As I was saying, I mean, these sisters just well deserved on their commitments to Syracuse. And I was calling a game earlier this season where they played Seminole State, and both the sisters were batting 3 and 4 in the lineup and hit home runs and back-to-back on that lineup. So these two sisters are nothing short of incredible, along with the rest of this Eastern Florida State lineup this entire season.
They scored 3 runs in the first inning of game 1. Now they're on the board again early here. With a bit of a 2-out rally, 2 straight hits. We will see a mound visit. Catcher Tenney and the coach are out there talking to Sydney Walker.
I think it's just a quick meeting probably just to settle things down. I mean, they have the 2 outs. And, like the first game where we saw, I mean, they scored 3 runs in that first inning. And if they can just hold the damage to 1 here with 2 runners on, you can consider it really a win for Bree Myers' side.
They had those 2 outs with just a runner on first base. But singles from Jalen Whipple and Madison Velasquez were able to bring her around. And now a dangerous spot here for Walker as Carissa Howe steps up to the plate with a runner in scoring position and 2 runners on.
Carissa Howe had a hit in last game, which extends it to 4 multi-hit games in the last, or she has 3 multi-hit games in the last 6. Also recorded a hit in the previous game as well.
Count is 1-2. One strike away from Walker getting out as it's on the ground to short. Ralston fires and gets out number 3, but not before the Titans the Eastern Florida Titans get on the board first here in inning number 1. We head to the top of the second, 1-0 Eastern Florida State. Welcome back to the Titans softball complex here in Melbourne, Florida. We're here for the top of the second inning here in Game 2 of this Citrus Conference doubleheader. As we see the number 4 hitter, Schlesing, step up to the plate for St. Pete as she gets hit by the pitch, but she swings at it. It'll be strike 1.
And Rosales did really well in that first inning, able to retire the side.
The 0-1 is a check swing. They appeal down to the first base umpire, and he rules it a strike. Quickly 0-2 now to the cleanup hitter, Schlesing.
Rosales and the rest of this Eastern Florida team still blanking St. Petersburg in this doubleheader.
Defensive swing there. Good job by Schlesing to stay alive. That one dribbles foul down the first base line.
And I mean, we saw in Game 1, Porter, there was multiple instances where they had a chance of getting on the board. They even left the bases loaded in Game 1, but the hitting certainly had gotten better throughout that game.
0-2, Isabella Rosales gets Schlesing swinging. 4 up, 4 down here. And it's a good start for the Titans starter.
Maybe I jinxed it when I said good hitting, and but a bit of a reach on that one. But Rosales, who's not a big strikeout pitcher, and that's got to feel good for her in terms of confidence and retiring the first 4 batters that she sees.
And that'll bring up the number 5 hitter in Amber Lynn Collins. So first pitch is in for a strike. Collins went 0 for 3 in Game 1. Going to reach base for the first time in this doubleheader. She takes inside for ball 1, evening the count. Rosales fires and it's swung through. That'll be strike 2.
And Amberlyn Collins has had a hit in 4 of her last 6 games. Didn't record a hit in the previous game, in Game 1 of this doubleheader.
The 1-2 pitch from Rosales just outside, evening the count at 2-2. St. Pete still looking for their first base runner of this one. Collins on the ground to third. Whipple fields, fires to first for out number 2.
And with the base paths being the length of the base paths, I mean, with your Whipple, you have to make a really strong throw over to Velasquez in order to record the out. And she did just that. I mean, it just this Eastern Florida team, they make everything look really easy on the defensive side and obviously on the offensive side as well.
We saw in the first game just even a little bit of bobble on a ground ball could be the difference in being safer out. So a nice play by Whipple, fielding it cleanly and making that strong throw. As we see the number 6 hitter coming up to bat as she lines it to left center. Diving play! Oh, what a play! That's Araceli Jimenez going fully horizontal trying to make that catch. It's 1-2-3 once again for St. Pete as we head to the bottom of the second after a fantastic play by Araceli Jimenez. We are back for the bottom of the second inning. It's 7-8-9 due up for Eastern Florida State, beginning with Jessica Merck, who's playing in right field for both of these games for Eastern Florida State.
And Jessica Merck, she was the only player in the lineup that wasn't able to record a hit. Did get on base by drawing in a walk in the first inning of the previous, but struck out swinging and popped one up on the infield and went 0 for 2. So she's going to be looking to change that. She is in an unnatural position defensively as Isabel Otero, the normal shortstop for the Eastern Florida State Titans, popped her shoulder out when making a run to home in the game against Daytona State earlier this week.
Yes, that's my mistake. She will be replacing Otero at shortstop, where she played in game 1 as well, as she falls behind in the count 1-2.
And really, for someone who doesn't play shortstop, she's done a fine job at position in the infield. I mean, that's always got to be a transition.
She gets caught looking there on the pitch from Sydney Walker. Quick first out here in the bottom half of the second. We'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Brooklyn Scott, who is actually the one in right field. She looks to lay down the bunt, maybe squared a little late. Fouls it back for strike 1.
And Brooklyn Scott scored a triple in the third inning of game 1, which kick-started some of the scoring that happened in that game.
Count is now even at 1-1 to Brooklyn Scott. She takes one down the middle for strike 2. Brooklyn Scott, not normally a starter for this team, but like we said, with Otero out, they moved Merck to shortstop, which gave Scott the opening in right field. And that's 2 straight strikeouts for Sydney Walker in the circle. Getting Merck and then getting Scott there swinging for out number 2. We'll bring up the number 9 hitter and catcher, Emma George.
Hey, Sydney Walker, despite the run being given up, has done a real fine job inside of the circle to begin things for St. Petersburg. I mean, she came into this game with a 7.78 ERA and only 18 strikeouts, but striking out the first 2 hitters And it's pretty big for a team that got blanked.
As George gets jammed a little bit there, tried to punch it out to right field. Will go just foul.
Hey, this is an Eastern Florida team that's chasing for a spot in the postseason. Currently, well, they came into this game sitting fourth in the Citrus Conference with games going on for Santa Fe and Indian River right now.
George takes high there from Walker. She went 2 for 3 out of the 9 spot in game 1. Scored 2 runs as well. Like we said in game 1, the only Eastern Florida hitter not over 300. But with more games like game 1 where she went 2 for 3, that can easily be changed. It's a count. It's now even after that strike from Walker at 2-2.
You know, and I'm no mathematician, but I feel like that should bring her over that mark.
I guess it depends on how many at-bats she's had.
You know. But again, I mean, just along with the rest of this Eastern Florida team, it's just the numbers when you take a look at it, just off of the face value, pulling up statistics, you start to think that this is a super team that's assembled.
George lifts one, pops one to right field, but the second baseman, Colon Rivera, maybe didn't see it great off the bat, but she's able to recover and make the diving catch. We've seen some great defense to close out both the top and bottom half of the second inning. We're through 2 here in Melbourne, Florida, 1-0 Eastern Florida State. We are back for the top of the third inning here between the St. Petersburg Titans and the Eastern Florida State Titans. It's 7-8-9 due up for St. Pete as we're just waiting for the home plate umpire to make his way back behind the plate. But 6 up, 6 down so far for Rosales means it's the bottom of the order for St. Pete, beginning with Ralston. Ralston grounds the first pitch to second, throw to first. Routine play there made by Duncan for the first out. 1 pitch, 1 inning, or 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top half of the third inning.
And Ralston was one of the players who was able to record a hit in the previous game off of Zoe Mills and made her way all the way over to third, but not having the same fortune this time.
That'll bring up the 8-hitter Brooke Bonalewicz as St. Pete did not score a run. Like we said, 8-0 Eastern Florida State. That's a 13th shutout for the Titans so far this season. And the second one for Zoe Mills against St. Petersburg. It's Isabella Rosales fires in strike 1.
And Brooke Bonalewicz also another player that was able to record a hit in that 5th inning along with Ralston.
A lot of the times it was the bottom of the order for this St. Pete lineup who would set the table for the top, but top of the order unable to come through. As that's on the ground is short. Merrick fires to first. 2 ground outs to start the top of the third and 2 quick outs for Rosales.
Again, Rosales and the rest of this Eastern Florida team defensively is just doing everything right. That's why a St. Petersburg player has not reached base yet.
That'll bring up the number 9 hitter and catcher, Aaliyah Tenney, who was catching in game 1, but was the flex player, did not get in that bat.
And Aaliyah Tenney doesn't have a hit this season in her 7 at-bats that she's seen, so it made sense for Bree Myers to have her as the flex player in game 1, but we'll try to see if things could change for Tenney and her fortune this season at this at-bat.
It's nice that they're rewarding her with some at-bats here. She's already done a lot of hard work behind the plate from game 1. And once again is back there for game 2 as she's ahead in the count 3-0. Rosales in danger of giving up her first walk in St. Petersburg's first base runner. .30 is in for strike 1 just on the inner half. Rosales gets back in the count and fires her first strike to the 9 hitter.
Tenney has reached base twice this season despite not recording a hit. She does have 2 walks. She's drawn in 2 walks so far.
She grounds that one down the third base line, but it is foul. The count moves full. Good job by Rosales not to give in.
Yeah, and Rosales has done well to work herself back into this count. Through 3 pitches outside of the zone, and now we see the count at full.
A 3-2 with 2 outs here in the third. On the ground to first, Velazquez makes the easy play. One time through the order for Rosales. She is perfect. 9 up, 9 down as we head to the bottom of the third. We welcome you back to the bottom of the third now. Between the Titans and the Titans, it's the top of the Titans order, the Eastern Florida Titans order to lead off. And that's Aracelis Jimenez.
The home Titans and the away Titans.
Home Titans and away Titans. Eastern Florida is in the white jerseys with St. Pete in the light and dark blue jerseys. So we have a lower scoring game than game 1. Just 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. Jimenez lines one the other way past the diving Ralston. And the leadoff runner for Eastern Florida is on base to start the bottom of the third.
You know, Border, I thought right there we were going to see a third spectacular catch. Ralston had a good jump off of it, but it just glided right past her diving glove, really.
And with Ash, the third baseman, playing in case of the bunt, there's no way she could have made that play, but it was a great effort by Ralston. As Jimenez steals another base, that's what happens when you allow her to reach base. She'll take more, and that's why she doesn't need to hit extra base hits as well. She'll turn singles and walks into extra base hits.
She really doesn't. The speed on her is ridiculous. That's 34 stolen bases this year and 3 in this doubleheader. And you can see her just hopping around in between on the base paths. I mean, it seems like it's a bit of her teasing the other team as well. I mean, the throws just cannot come in time from Tenney throughout the entirety of this game.
It's Annalyn Duncan unloads on that pitch, but way foul. But yes, it's automatic at this point for Jimenez to be in scoring position if she reaches base. 1-2 now to Duncan. She turns on that one as well, just early on it. Pushes it foul down the left field line.
And Duncan came into this doubleheader with a 7-game hit streak, was able to extend that to 8 after getting an RBI stand-up double in Game 1.
She flies one to left. Going back is Bolanowitz. That one will go foul as well.
That was just fouled. I mean, it's something similar that we saw in Game 1. And I thought, I mean, if that one stayed fair, that had a chance of getting out of the park.
Bolanowitz had to turn and run for that one, unable to make the catch. That gives Duncan more life as she fouls it. Watch out over there. Velasquez in the on-deck circle.
Avery Velasquez having to move out of the way. Good instincts on that one, though. And
Got to look alive in these dugouts.
you know, maybe it's friendly competition between Velasquez and Duncan for having a team leading 11 home runs, but that one didn't seem so friendly.
That one would have hurt if it made contact for sure.
Although unintentional.
Duncan, once again, another foul ball down into the bullpen.
That's 4 that she's fouled off on this left side. She's just getting a bit early on these and pulling them.
Needs to wait back just a little bit more and straighten it out. She's gotten some power behind it. So this time she does, and it's right back up the middle. Jimenez will round third, and she will score without a play. An RBI single there from Annalyn Duncan gives the Eastern Florida State Titans a 2-0 lead.
And again, Duncan just had a lengthy at-bat against Walker. And again, she just was making contact plenty of times. She was just pulling them. And on that last one, she was just able to just kind of slam it up the middle and get past Walker and record another run and get a RBI single.
She extends that hitting streak now.
Put it to 9 games.
9 games, yes, and that'll bring up the 3-hitter, Avery Velasquez. As Velasquez turns on one to deep left field. That ball is off the fence. Extra bases for Velasquez. Here comes Duncan from third. There's no throw. An RBI double for Avery Velasquez makes it 3-0 Eastern Florida.
I've got to be honest with you, Porter. I'm really shocked that Sydney Ralston decided not to try and throw her out. I mean, it seemed like she had a beat on it, and Duncan was a little bit before halfway point to making it over the first by the time the throw came into Ralston.
You know, I would have understood it more if they had Velasquez out at second base, but Velasquez was already standing there. Why not take a chance and try to get the out of the plate, save a run? So we will see a new pitcher now as Eastern Florida has gotten to Sydney Walker here in the 3rd inning. We'll step aside as she warms up. The new pitcher for St. Petersburg is ready to roll, and it's the cleanup hitter, Jalen Whipple, for Eastern Florida. And on the mound is number 23, Angelique Ballou.
Yeah, and statistically, Ballou's been the best pitcher for St. Petersburg this season. It's coming with a 5.64 ERA, 32 strikeouts on the year. Opponents bat 346 against her.
She replaces Sydney Walker, who got through 2 strong, as Whipple lines one into left field over the shortstop's head. They will hold Velasquez at third, as the ball was hit very hard to the left fielder. It'll now be first and third now for Madison Velasquez and nobody out.
And it's a bit of now more of what we saw from Eastern Florida in Game 1 here in the third inning. There was a lot of these batters just taking advantage of the pitches down the middle. As that one foul almost hit. And Coach Andrew Ziegler didn't mean to take the call away from you, Porter, but I had to comment on that one.
No, that looked dangerous over there. He's got a smile on his face. He's okay. And we were just talking to him with our reporter Natalie Ruiz. Would have been able to, if that connected, might not have been able to talk to him after this game, as Velasquez pokes one into center field. She'll bring home her sister and move Whipple over to second base. Now second and first for Eastern Florida, and Carissa Howe stepping up to the plate. Now finding themselves up by 4 runs, still with nobody out. First pitch swinging for Howe. She swings through it for strike 1.
I mean, this is the perfect example of small ball right now, is they're getting on base. It's base hit after base hit and sending their runners home.
As Howe lifts one to left, it's caught by Bona Lewitz for out number 1.
Yeah, that was big. That's exactly something that you need if you're St. Petersburg. And this is going to be a real difficult one to come out of.
Jessica Merck up now in the same situation, this time with 1 out. As Ballou able to get the first out of the bottom of the third. The first pitch to Merck is low for ball 1.
Merck has got to be the one that feels a bit left out in this doubleheader. It's not able to record a hit, but defensively she's put in the work in an unfamiliar position and has done a mighty fine job there as well. Now the only thing that she's been looking for is a hit.
She went 5 for 5 last week, but 0 for 8 coming into today. And like you said, hasn't recorded a hit, went 0 for 2 in game 1, and is 0 for 1 today. So now a hitless streak, 0 for her last 11. She lines that one over the head of the shortstop and will break the streak. Runners go station to station, and the bases will be loaded now with 1 out.
That was on cue. I mean, a commentator's jinx that works in the best way possible, especially if you're Jessica Merck.
Breaks out of that funk. That 0 for 11 streak will bring up the number 9 hitter, Emma George, with the bases loaded. Or no, it's the number 8 hitter, Brooklyn Scott, with the bases loaded.
And Scott doesn't have a home run this year, but what a way to get your first if you get a huge grand slam.
She flies one to right center. It'll be caught out there by Diaz, but plenty deep enough for the runners from third and second to tag. An RBI sac fly there from Brooklyn Scott extends the lead to 5-0.
You know, I really thought I spoke it into existence for a second as soon as the ball left the bat. she had a good hit on that one. I mean, that one stayed in the air for quite a while, and it just kind of died out there in right field to make it easy for Diaz to make the play, but does add the run.
The wind is not helping these hitters for both sides when looking to go deep over the fence, as Scott was looking to hit it to those fans sitting out there in right field. Number 9 hitter now. I spoke too soon earlier, but it is Emma George, the catcher, up to bat.
Now let's try this again. Emma George hasn't hit a home run yet this season. So let's see if she can try to get something. Maybe get a 3-run homer. Try and make this a 8-run ball game. Whoa.
Whoa. They catch the St. Pete defense lacking and us here in the booth lacking as Jessica Merck just, as the catcher was throwing it back to first, she just took off and no one was there to cover. And now 2 in scoring position as George off the glove of the pitcher fires to first is Ralston for out number 3. A nice play there to get out of the inning, but not before Eastern Florida puts up 4 in the bottom of the 3rd. They'll take a 5-run lead to the 4th. The top of the order due up for St. Pete here in the top of the 4th after Isabella Rosales has gone 9 up, 9 down through 3. It's Jensen Nelson stepping up, looking to be the first St. Pete Titan to reach base in this one. First pitch from Rosales is fouled off by Nelson. It's ahead of the count, 0-1.
St. Petersburg. Now, I mean, it's really difficult when you have a pitcher that's pitching this well. As
the 0-1 swung through for strike 2.
But again, I mean, it has to be a small ball approach, and when you've been blanked for a total of 9 innings now, it's going to be difficult.
0-2 on the ground at first. Velasquez steps on the bag herself for out number 1. This Eastern Florida State team came in to today with a 2.13 ERA. It's really hard to make that go down, but they sure have done that so far.
Yeah, I mean, again, the St. Petersburg team was hitting well coming into this series.
It's Colon Rivera lifts one to left center. On the run, once again, it's Araceli Jimenez putting her body on the line, showing off that speed. She's shown it off on the base paths and now shown it off in the field.
I mean, what more can you say about this Eastern Florida State team? They just do everything right. Jimenez got a real good jump off of it from where she was standing to make that diving play.
Rosales has pitched really well, not letting a base runner on, but she's also had a lot of help as that one sneaks inside and ends up hitting Teresa Diaz. It's the first base runner for St. Pete, coming with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
There goes the perfect game bid.
That's a tough way to end it, too.
That is.
Just barely hitting.
It's just too far inside,
Yes.
and it hits her.
I'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Alexandra Schlesing. First time St. Pete hitter is coming up to bat with a runner on. First pitch to her is taken outside for ball 1. Diaz with 6 stolen bases is a threat over there at first base, especially when your team hasn't been able to get it going offensively. When you get a runner on, you need to take advantage. So wouldn't be surprised if she's on the move at some point in this at-bat.
Like you said, I mean, she's got 6 stolen bases on the year. I would think with the way that both of these games have gone, if you're Bree Myers, maybe you make the signal for her and try and steal second. I mean, especially with the way that the infield is set up.
There she goes. The throw down is late, and no one was really covering the second base bag. I thought they had a shot.
Yeah.
George made a strong throw.
And it was just like what I was saying, the way the infield was set up,
Yeah.
it seemed like a huge opportunity for Bree Myers to make the call to steal second, especially with the way that the game's going.
Now their first runner in scoring position off of Diaz's 7th stolen base of the year. Now Schlesing doing a good job staying alive in this 2-strike count. Comes another 1-2 pitch on the ground to third. Whipple fires to first for out number 3. It's 4 scoreless for Rosales. Still no hits for St. Pete, but they do get a runner on, but they strand her at second base. We head to the bottom of the 4th, 5-0 Eastern Florida State. The top of the order due up for Eastern Florida State for the 3rd time. This time against Angelique Ballou, out for her 2nd inning of work in the bottom of the 4th. 5-0 Eastern Florida State Titans. We see a lot of parallels from Game 2 going back to Game 1.
You know, and this is Jimenez's 3rd at-bat of this game, and the 3rd at-bat she had in the previous game ended quite interestingly, to say the least. So let's hope that doesn't get replicated here.
She lays down the bunt with her speed. No chance to get Jimenez at first. We've seen her speed be probably the biggest factor out of everything in this game, both on her hits, on the base paths. Wouldn't be surprised if she goes first pitch here again, and defensively.
Yeah, Johannes Colon Rivera just didn't really have a shot, especially, I mean, with the way that ball was laid down.
There goes Jimenez once again. That one was actually pretty close, but Jimenez able to slide in safely.
I was going to say, Leah Tenney had a pretty good throw
Yes,
on
it
that
was.
one. Had a nice pop to her there off of her arm, and Ralston was coming in and just still not able to get Jimenez out. It's just the speed is just too much for this St. Petersburg team.
Once again, Jimenez turns a bunt into a double, essentially, as Annalyn Duncan ropes one foul down the left field line.
And Duncan is, from what we've seen a lot, I mean, she's pulling a lot of these that are getting fouled to this left side of the field. But if she can get it on a good timing here, she could be crushing one over because several of her foul balls have been going over and exiting the stadium here at Titan Softball Complex.
She's been seeing it well here in game 2. Just a little too antsy, getting ahead of it. The count now at 1-1. Takes outside, gets ahead in the count.
It's a hitter's count now for Duncan. Again, wait, if she gets a pitch that she likes, she could be smoking one over this outfield wall.
Actually now 3-1, and she takes ball 4. First 2 Eastern Florida State Titans are aboard here in the bottom of the 4th. I'll bring up the 3-hitter, Avery Velasquez. And since we are in the 4th and we saw the run rule last game, she would be the 8th run here for the Titans, and all they would need to do is throw a scoreless frame in the top of the 5th.
And it could be a very quick game. And Avery Velasquez certainly has the capabilities to do it. As we mentioned, tying 11 home runs.
Not just that, but also top 5 in home runs and RBIs in the FCSAA.
Has certainly earned that commitment to Syracuse along with her sister Madison.
She does fall behind in the count here, 1-2. But she's a dangerous hitter no matter the count, and she's comfortable up there. Even if she falls behind, the 1-2 is taken up and away for ball 2.
You know, if you're St. Petersburg, it is that point where it gets a bit unfortunate that you've let the first 2 batters get on, because Avery Velasquez is certainly a batter that you'd be more than fine with walking.
They're in danger of doing that now. She works the count full from 1-2 all the way to 3-2. A walk would load the bases with nobody out, but it's also dangerous to give her a pitch to hit here. 3-2 is taken in the dirt for ball 4. The bases are loaded now with nobody out for Jalen Whipple.
Jalen Whipple is Miss Extra Base herself, leading the nation with 11 triples this year.
So we see a meeting on the mound between Tenney and Balu. If Whipple gets one of those patented extra base hits, that could push across the 8th run for Eastern Florida.
It could. It's very possible. If she does get one of those, she picks up her 12 triple, score the 3 runs and clear the bases.
Balu struggling to find the zone here. After the bunt single by Jimenez, 2 straight walks to load the bases and falls behind now of Whipple. As Whipple pops one, that one will get out of play. The count will even up at 1.
Whipple has 3 home runs in the last 6 games, which puts her to 5 on the season. So she's been showing some of that power as of late.
And had those 2 home runs against this very team.
Exactly.
Their first doubleheader last month.
I'm not trying to insinuate anything, but you know, there's a potential of something big here.
She's now back ahead of the count, 2-1. Could get a good pitch to hit here as there's nowhere to put her on the base paths. Here comes from Balu, ripped down the left field line. It's just foul.
And I think it's got to get to the point if you're Bree Myers to have a meeting here. I mean, there's no outs in a 5-0 ball game with the bases loaded, with a very, very good hitter in the batter's box right now. It's surprising that they've allowed them to get to this point without a meeting.
Whipple able to foul off that 2-strike pitch and stay alive in this at bat.
And it's going to be difficult for this St. Petersburg team because we've seen every pitcher that they fielded this season already in this doubleheader. They had 3 in the previous game, and now we've seen Ballou and Walker in this one.
Whipple flies it to left. Coming in is Bonalewicz. She can't make the catch. She's able to recover it and get the force out at third, but it will help push home the 6th run for Eastern Florida State after the error in left field.
And, at the end of the day, you do get the out with the force
It was
out.
a good recovery after.
Was able to recover it, and, maybe if she made the catch, the result would have been the same with the runner potentially tagging up.
As Velasquez on the ground is short, they go and get the lead runner, her sister Avery Velasquez, at third. So a good play there by Ralston, getting the lead runner. Now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
And this could be one of the better case scenarios for the St. Petersburg team if they can get out of this inning with just allowing the 1 run. I mean, especially with the error out in left field that we just saw, it's a bit of fortune for this team, for the St. Petersburg team.
So we see a pinch hitter replacing Carissa Howell in the 6th spot. It's Avery Helms, who we also saw.
She was the one who walked it off.
We saw her walk it off with that double in the bottom of the 6th.
And Helms has some power to her. When she's come in, she's has 2 home runs on the year and had 7 RBIs coming into this series and picked up her 8th with that walk-off in Game 1.
She steps into the batter's box with runners on second and first and 2 outs. There goes the runner from second and first. A bit of a delayed steal from both players. Saw it in the dirt. Able to get to third, and then Velasquez at first, realizing her teammate was heading to third.
And this is probably another instance where I have to question why the throws are not being made with either runners stealing bases or with the infielder that we saw with Sydney Ralston not even making an attempt to throw to home previously. So it's interesting.
1-1 pitch to Helms has swung through for strike 2. 2 runners in scoring position. It's Whipple at third and Madison Velasquez at second. A hit here from Helms could bring home that 8th run and put Eastern Florida in a position for another run rule as she takes that 1-2 pitch outside for ball 2. Pitch to Helms, just gets a piece of it to stay alive.
Yeah, she's doing the right thing stepping out of the batter's box. Just taking a bit of time to herself after that swing. And it looks like it just hit really just that bottom side of her bat and just barely able to clip it.
Good job protecting with 2 strikes. We'll do 2-2 again. She lifts it out to left. The catch is made by Bonalewicz to end the inning. Good job by Angelique Ballou, just giving up 1 run after Eastern Florida State had the bases loaded and nobody out, and even that run was scored on an error. So a nice job by Ballou. And we're through 4. Eastern Florida State adds 1. It is 6-0 Titans. Isabella Rosales back in the circle, ready for her 5th inning of work. Just one base runner so far for St. Pete. She's been dominant. It's her first pitch of the 5th inning. It's fouled back from strike 1 to Amberlynn Collins.
And we mentioned it earlier, Rosales has not been a big strikeout pitcher this season, but with that 2.15 ERA coming into this one, and we've seen it here today, just the one strikeout, and she's done a really good job. I mean, a lot of ground balls, just one of those ground ball pitchers that has been really successful, alike to some MLB pitchers that are very good ground ball pitchers.
Please don't say it. Please don't say
If
it.
you can name me one, Porter.
I'm not naming you one. I know which one you want me to name. I ain't naming him. Rosales, yes, like you said, doing a great job getting weak contact, and even when there is some hard contact, we got free safety Jimenez out there as that one's lifted to left. It's Carissa Howell out there. She'll make the catch for out number 1.
And again, I mean, Rosales has done a great job in the circle, but you have to give a hand to the outfield and the rest of the defensive alignment for this Eastern Florida team. I mean, we've seen Jimenez make 2 brilliant diving catches to make sure that the St. Petersburg team is hitless.
So that brings up number 4, Montana Ash, the 3rd baseman, for game 2 of this doubleheader. With 1 out, she took ball 1 on the first pitch. The second pitch from Rosales underway. It's lifted to right center. That's going to get down in the gap. Cut off by Jimenez, but her throw is off target, allowing Montana Ash to get to second. It was a great job by Jimenez to cut it off and hold him to a single. Just needed to slow down a little bit and make a better throw.
She got a bit too ahead of herself on that throw. And that was just a bit waywards, and now St. Petersburg sees a runner in scoring position. But that does end the no-hit bid for Rosales.
That one was hit so well by Ash, not even Jimenez could get to it on the fly. So that brings up Sydney Ralston, just the second at bat for St. Petersburg with a runner in scoring position. This time it's from a hit. 1-1 to the shortstop. Lays down a bunt down the first baseline. That one will go foul for strike 2. Good job by Eastern Florida State defense to not touch it until it goes foul.
And again, defensively, they've just done everything right. I mean, they really are not prone to any mistakes.
1-2 lined past the diving shortstop Merck into left field. Howell tries to get Ash out at third, but she's able to slide in safely. Back-to-back hits here in the top of the 5th after none through the first 4 innings. Gives St. Petersburg runners on the corners now with just 1 out.
And I was about to say, thankfully Emma George is coming for a bit of a meetup here in the circle, but that's exactly what I would have done as well. And it's not that Rosales is pitching poorly at all, but pitching a no-hitter through 4 innings and then seeing 2 hits being given up. And this one, just kind of talk to your pitcher and calm things down a little bit and just making sure that everybody's on the same page with it. But runners at the corners, you do have 1 out, but with second base being empty, there's the opportunity of a double play.
Will need to be turned quickly now. That's Ash at third, Ralston at first. bring up the left fielder, Brooke Bonalewicz. Took strike one there from Rosales. The 0-1 pitch, she's swinging. It'll go foul. Quickly behind 0-2. This is a big strikeout situation for Rosales. Like you said, she doesn't get a lot of them. But with the runner on third and less than 2 outs, getting a strikeout here would be huge. She's ready for the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. No, it's foul. Foul tip, and Emma George unable to corral it. Good job staying alive. Count still 0-2. Rosales sets and fires just outside for ball one.
Just trying to get that outside corner. And Emma George is having conversations with the home plate umpire.
1-2. Bonalewicz able to foul it off once again. Just getting a piece of some of these good pitches from Rosales, who really is striving for that swing and miss. Rosales fires again. It's fouled back. Bonalewicz has one of the highest averages on the team, over 300. Coming into today is 3 for her last 5 as she rips one out to left. It's caught by Howell. Tagging up is Ash. And St. Pete is on the board for the first time today.
You know, and for Carissa Howell, again, it's just a decision. I think she thought that she was fully beat on that one with the runner tagging up. It seemed like she thought about making that throw towards home, but that was going to be hard. I think it could have been cut off by Whipple.
That one's on the ground from Tenney, and Whipple unable to corral it. An error by the third baseman will keep this inning alive for St. Pete.
Number 14, Jensen Nelson.
That'll turn this lineup over as well as the leadoff hitter Jensen Nelson steps up. Now with runners on second and first with 2 outs, looking to take advantage and make Eastern Florida pay for that error. First pitch is on the ground to second. Flip to short for out number 3. A nice play by Duncan and Merck to get Rosales out of the 5th inning, but not before St. Pete gets on the board. And the RBI sac fly by Brooke Bonalewicz. We head to the bottom of the 5th, 6-1, Eastern Florida. We are back at the Titans softball complex here in Melbourne, Florida for the bottom of the 5th inning of Game 2 of this Saturday doubleheader. As Eastern Florida comes up to bat with a 5-run lead. Needing 3 runs now after St. Pete got one on the board in the top half.
Yeah, despite that, I mean, they still have the opportunity with how big of a lead that they do have to try and walk this off, similar to what they did in the 6th inning in Game 1. And Merck, who, ended her hitless streak in the 3rd inning, has an opportunity to try and keep it going.
She lines that one right to second. Nice play by Colon Rivera just to get her glove up. Able to make the catch. Loud first out here in the bottom of the 5th.
And that one, is just one of those where it's kind of gets to the point. It's a little bit unfortunate. I mean, she did have a good hit off of that one, but it was just hit right to the second baseman.
The corners of St. Pete's infield are in as Brooklyn Scott steps up to the plate. Maybe suspecting a bunt. She swung away at the first pitch as she lifts one to right field. That's Diaz making the catch. 2 quick outs here for Eastern Florida.
At bat, number 14, Emma George.
It's Angelique Balu out of the pen. Pitching pretty well, June.
She has. I mean, and she got out of really what was a big jam in the 4th inning where we saw the bases get loaded. And, just the run came in off of the error, and they only gave up the 1.
Brings up the number 9 hitter, Emma George.
So I think she's got to have a bit of confidence in her right now after retiring the first 2 batters in this inning.
George, the 0-1 pitch is fouled off. That'll get out of play. Balu ahead of George, 0-2. Trying to get George to chase in the dirt. Good discipline to lay off. One and 2 from Balu is lined to right. That'll get down in front of Diaz, who tries to get George at first, but that's not in time. So a 2-out single for Emma George, and as she turns it over to the top of the order in Jimenez.
And that would have been a rare 9-3 put out if they were able to make that play. But now, it brings up, I call really an on-base machine. It's a speedster. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of nicknames you could give for Jimenez.
She does lay it down on the first pitch. It's just automatic.
My Lord.
Another bunt for a single from Aracelis Jimenez. A bit of a 2-out rally here from Eastern Florida. 2 on now for Annalyn Duncan.
Again, I mean, I said I'm not a mathematician earlier in the broadcast, but this has got to bring her above the 450 mark in batting average, which is just ridiculous.
I don't know how teams get her out at this point. And we say dangerous hitter.
Yeah, but the way you get her out is, I guess, when she steps too far out of the batter's box.
We call a lot of these Eastern Florida hitters dangerous hitters, but Jimenez is a dangerous hitter for much different reasons.
A dangerous bunter.
Dangerous bunter, dangerous on the base paths as well.
A speedster. I mean, again, there's a lot of nicknames. She made those 2 great diving catches
Yes.
earlier as well. There's not a lot she does wrong.
And I'm sure if George wasn't there at second, Jimenez would have already...
We would have seen Jimenez at second.
We would have already seen Jimenez on the move. But instead, 2 on for Annalyn Duncan. With her 11 home runs, a 12th would end this game as she lifts one to deep left field. Bona Lewitz has room to make the catch. for out number 3. So Angelique Ballou hands Eastern Florida their first scoreless inning since the second as we head to the top of the 6th. We are back for the top of the 6th. It is 6-1 Eastern Florida State. We'd like to thank you for joining us here, spending your afternoon with us. If you weren't here for game 1, I'm Porter Kelly. Joined alongside me is June Yoon. And on the mound still is Isabella Rosales, and she'll face 2-3-4 in the St. Pete order, beginning with Yohalis Colon Rivera.
Oh.
She hits Colon Rivera. Looks like maybe on the arm. Got her shaken up a little bit, but she'll make her way over to first base, seemingly all right.
She hobbles over just a little bit.
She's going to get an extra minute here, and I don't blame her. Moving those hands. Looks like it hit her in the left elbow area, maybe the funny bone.
I mean, they call it softball. A ball is certainly not soft.
No, it's a very misleading name of a sport. But the leadoff runner now for St. Pete is on.
Almost as much as American football, maybe.
Yeah, football. Well, you only use your foot for maybe 10 plays out of a game.
This is how you started, and sometimes it is how you ended as well.
It's true. As Teresa Diaz steps in, the number 3 hitter. Leadoff runner, Colon Rivera on first base.
Diaz was also hit by a pitch in her last at-bat.
We've seen no walks from Rosales, but 2 hit batters, and Colon Rivera has 2 stolen bases on the year. Wouldn't be surprised if she gets going as Diaz lifts one to right. Catch is made out there by Scott. First out here in the top of the 6th.
Number 25, Leslie Shesling.
Now with 1 out and a runner on first, it's the cleanup hitter, Alexandra Schlesing. Facing off against Isabella Rosales once again. She smokes the first pitch foul off the top of the dugout. Taking cover over there.
I thought originally it would look like a delayed reaction from Bree Myers off the foul ball, but I think it had ricocheted off of something, which resulted in her ducking again.
This time, Schlesing fouls it off the other way. She finds herself down 0-2 here quickly. The 0-2 from Rosales. It's fouled off once again. 3 straight foul balls off the bat of Schlesing. Another 0-2 from Rosales is taken way outside for ball 1.
Rivera does have a handful of stolen bases this year. Wouldn't be surprised if she takes off.
0-2, swung on and missed by Schlesing for the second out of the inning and only the second strikeout from Rosales.
At bat, number 20, Amberlyn Collins.
And I think that you really do have to think about it. And again, it's just the way that the Eastern Florida infield is set up. I think it enables that. And there we go.
There goes the runner, Rivera. Almost slid a little too early, barely can reach the base. But she will be safe.
Oh, it looks
like
like
a close play, and now she's hobbling.
And Merck really disagreed with that. She was staring down the infield umpire.
That was almost a cartoon moment where she couldn't even reach the base on her slide. But a good job by Colon Rivera, getting her third stolen base of the year.
And well, you know, if you don't get the uniform dirty, then you didn't play hard enough.
As that one's popped up by Collins, and nice job by Emma George to find it in the air and make the catch with the mask still on. So even with the leadoff hit by pitch, Rosales gets out of the inning unscathed. We're through 5.5, 6-1 Eastern Florida. Angelique Balu back out for the bottom of the sixth. She's had a very successful game out of the pen for St. Pete, and we can't really say that a lot about most of their pitchers.
No, you get it. Again, there's been times where you could say it was a bit of fortune, but I think she's done an incredible job since she's come in.
So that one is smoked off the bat of Velasquez to left center, but the wind will keep it in once again right on the track, and making the catch is Collins for out number one here in the bottom of the sixth.
And I think there's a couple of times that the wind has caught the ball in the air where it's died out. It seems like there's been several times, not even just in this game, but maybe in game one of the doubleheader where the ball could have left the park. But, you know, from our angle here where we see the flag and the way that the wind is blowing, it's been keeping them in here.
Now it's Jalen Whipple. First pitch, grounder to third. A great play there by Montana Ash to field that hard hit ball off the bat of Whipple and then make the strong throw over to Schlesing. 2 quick outs here for Balu in the top of the sixth, or in the bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, a grounder and a fly out is starting to look a lot like what Rosales looked like in the first couple of innings of this game.
Now with 2 outs, it brings up Madison Velasquez. Going to start a 2-out rally here. If not, St. Pete will need 5 runs in the top of the 7th just to keep this game going. With the way Rosales has been pitching, it'll be very tough for them to do so. Velasquez gets ahead in the count. Pitch from Balu. It's taken for a strike. She's really been keeping these Eastern Florida hitters off balance.
Yeah, I mean, she has been. I mean, there's been some pitches that have been coming in where we saw, especially with Annalyn Duncan, these.
On the ground to third, that's a fair ball down the left field line. Madison Velasquez will stroll into second with a 2-out double.
And what I was going to say was that they pulled them a lot, and that one as well was pulled and just stayed fair down that third base line.
Number 24.
Just snuck by the third base bag and the glove of Montana Ash. And now that puts Carissa Howe in a position to bring home a run and continue this 2-out rally.
And Carissa Howe is another player that can end this game off of one pitch. She has 4 home runs this season.
Well, that would just put it at
Oh,
7.
it's actually, yeah. I did say.
She does lift one to deep left field. That ball is back to the track, and it's dropped out in left field. Velasquez will score. Howe pushing for third. She's in with an RBI triple. And June is really not the mathematician, just like he said. And it's now 7-1. They now lead by 6 here in the bottom of the 6th.
I completely forgot about the run score in the 5th. I mean, with the way, defensively and the pitching that they've got, I guess I forgot that St. Petersburg had recorded a run. I did say I'm not the mathematician.
Either way, Carissa Howe puts Eastern Florida up by 6. And will bring up Jessica Merck with a runner on third base and 2 outs.
And Merck's got 5 home runs this year. This could. Off one.
There you go.
I think I got it right this time.
You did. Don't worry. 1-1 count now. This 2 straight extra base hits leads to an Eastern Florida run. 1-1 to Merck is on the ground to short. Bobbled over there, and there'll be no play to get Merck at first. Ralston couldn't corral the tough hop as Howe comes home to score and increases the Eastern Florida State lead to 7.
Yeah, and it gets interesting now. And we did talk about that Baloo has done a good job, but a couple errors in there by her team that really, I think it's really let her down.
Now that winning run in the form of Jessica Merck is over at first base as Brooklyn Scott steps into the right-handed batter's box as Baloo evens the count at 1-1. Scott takes the 1-1 pitch in for strike 2 as well. Nice little change of pace off-speed pitch from Balu. Now she has to protect with 2 strikes. 1-2, foul tip into the glove. That's going to be strike 3. 2 runs put on the board from Eastern Florida on their 2-out rally. And they will take their 7-run lead into the top of the 7th, where St. Pete needs to get their offense going if they want to keep this game going. We are back for the top of the 7th. Isabella Rosales looking to go the distance here in Game 2 of this Citrus Conference doubleheader. Stepping in to the batter's box
Number 4, Montana
is the shortstop, or is the third baseman, number 4, Montana Ash.
Yeah, it looks like we might be potentially getting a pinch hitter as well. As we see head coach Bree Myers making way to the home plate umpire, looking to potentially make a change.
Looks like it might be with the
It is. It's going
player
to be
on deck.
It's going to be Alexis Williamson,
Yes.
who we actually didn't even get to see have a chance to step into the batter's box in Game 1 because she was pulled without even going a whole inning.
She went 1/3 of an inning on the mound
Yeah,
in Game 1,
and
which did not allow her to get a plate appearance, but she'll get one here in the top of the 7th of Game 2 after Montana Ash.
Yeah, it made us see, we were forced with seeing Helena Jones and Addison Lamb step into the box after Williamson got pulled early.
Salas back out. The first pitch to Ash is fouled off for strike 1. 3 outs to score 7 runs and send this game to the bottom of the 7th. Standing in their way is Isabella Rosales. It's been near perfect today. That ball's on the ground to third. Whipple fields cleanly, fires to first for out number 1. Quick first out here in the top of the 7th. That will bring up the aforementioned Alexis Williamson for her first at-bat of this doubleheader.
Yeah, Williamson's 164 average on the season, but has brought in 9 runs. She's got a home run to her name as well this year.
Well, in order to bring in a run in this at-bat, she would need to get that second homer as she took the ball in the dirt on the first pitch. Got that bright red bat. It's reflecting up here.
It's a bit of an eyesore, if I'm going to be honest.
She gets ahead in the count 2-0. Salas gets back in the count on that 2-0 pitch. Gets the outside half for strike 1.
Ooh,
Williamson with a big hack there on 2-1.
that one just blazed right
Fouls it
by
back.
the home plate umpire. I mean, he didn't have much of a reaction.
They have some protection under their uniforms, but nothing that wouldn't let you feel that softball coming off the bat of Williamson.
It's like a bulletproof vest.
2-2, swung on and missed. Strikeout of Williamson brings St. Pete to their final out here.
Looks like it's another pinch
There
hitter.
will be another pinch hitter. It's number 18 for St. Petersburg. That is Paige Vigot for her first appearance here in this doubleheader.
And Paige has got 286 average on the year. So certainly a good option to pick off the bench.
She's just looking to keep this game going. One more out. It'll be another doubleheader sweep for Eastern Florida State. In dominant fashion once again.
And the way that Paige Vigot just responded to that pitch, I mean, it seems like it's just a lot of disappointment across all the faces of the away Titans in this one.
Fouls off the 1-1. They were really hoping to get some revenge after getting outscored 25-4 back in March in their doubleheader series. But much of the same dominance from Eastern Florida in this one. It's down to their final strike is St. Pete. The 1-2 on the ground to first. That'll hit the bag. Velasquez able to pick it back up and keep her foot on the base. And that's going to do it for Game 2 of this doubleheader. Eastern Florida continues their dominance and wins this one 8-1, June.
That may have been one of the more nonchalant ways to end the ball game. Madison Velasquez clearly knew that. Well, you see it kind of pop off the bag and it just rolled, and she just picked it up barehanded and was like, I'm going to record the out, end this game.
So no run rule in this one, though. We do play 7 innings, but it's once again Eastern Florida dominating 8-1 victory. The pitching really has been the strong point of these games against St. Pete.
Yeah, it puts them at 23-11 in conference record and 37-13 overall. Again, really vying for that spot to get a tournament berth in a very difficult conference that we've seen. I don't have the results right now of what's going on in Santa Fe and Indian Rivers ball games right now, but certainly a challenge. And they're just going to continue in their winning way. 6 games left on the year with the postseason tournament coming up. So we see the players thanking the fans. And I'd like to thank also us up here in the broadcast booth.
Like you said, 6 games left. Their next one is right back here at the Titan Softball Complex versus Miami-Dade. And Miami-Dade College on the 28th at 1 p.m. Once again, another doubleheader. But June, before we get to send it down to Natalie, who is your player of the doubleheader, I guess? It's usually player of the game, but since there's 2 games.
It's hard to point out one. I mean, the team played fantastic. You know, I could give it to the pitching staff with how well both of them play, but I think Araceli Jimenez, with just the defensive output she also put out there as well, is definitely a player to mention as a player of this doubleheader. I mean, several stolen bags in this one, making 2 diving catches in game 2, and just put out an all-around great effort. But really, this entire roster, as we've seen all season long, was just fantastic from front end to back.
I mean, you can see why this is a team that averages almost 9 runs a game. They have Jimenez at the top of the order, who have the speed and can get on base, but they also have the hard hitters in their lineup. We didn't get to see any home runs from either team, but that I
think
feel
a big
like
part is with
has
the wind.
The wind, yes.
Yeah, we see the wind still blowing, and that is kind of what kept a lot of the balls in the park.
Looks like our reporter Natalie Ruiz is ready down there with head coach Andrew Ziegler, so we'll throw it down to her.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead, it's okay.
I'm here with Coach Z. Coach, what can you take away from today's doubleheader?
2 more big wins in conference, setting us up where we need to for the final 6 games that's coming up. We needed those 2 wins, and it puts us in a situation where we can still go get that 2 spot.
What did you learn from game 1 that helped your approach in this game?
Definitely hitter stayed back, waited for the off-speed stuff to drive back to middle to the right side. And pitching-wise, we kind of saw what their swings were, so we attacked what we thought were their weaknesses.
Lastly, what do you want your team to take away moving forward?
Just keep that hustle, keep that communication, and just staying loud and passionate about what we do. That's what we're known for, and when we're doing that, we're really good.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Natalie and head coach Andrew Ziegler for doing that post-game interview, as it looks like she has your player of the game, Araceli Jimenez, down there ready to do an interview herself.
You know, be excited to see what she says. You know, just one thing to point out before we send it back down is the players doing the cleanup here at the stadium as well. It's just some pretty good discipline, I have to say. I mean, maybe it shows as to why they don't make a lot of mistakes and errors in the games that we've seen this season. Seems like they're just getting ready there.
As Natalie is ready with Araceli Jimenez, we'll throw it down to her.
Can I just look at the camera?
Yes. Thanks, guys. What can you take away from today's doubleheader?
I took away that, we came in, did what we needed to do, came in with 2 wins, and played our game, and it was good.
What was your biggest adjustment?
My biggest adjustment was kind of just coming in and knowing that I just need to do my job because I have big hitters behind me that will hit me in and get us runs.
And what do you hope to carry into the rest of your season while your postseason is on the line?
I think just bringing that energy and want to come and win, and because we have a great team for it, and so just keep pushing and keep staying within ourselves and just having a good season.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you to Natalie and Araceli's down there for doing that post-game interview. And it was interesting to hear what she said about getting on base for the big hitters. That is exactly what we brought up before we threw it down to her. But that's going to do it for us here at Titans Softball Complex. Special thanks to Eastern Florida State Sports Information Director Mike Parsons, Athletic Director Jeff Carr, and the entire staff here at EFSC for their hard work in making this broadcast possible. We'd also like to thank the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting for the opportunity. For my partner, June Yoon, I'm Porter Kelly. Eastern Florida State gets the doubleheader sweep. Thanks so much for spending part of your day with us. So long from Melbourne, Florida.